Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 334, interview with author Marshall Garvey and former World Series champion Royals pitcher Charlie Leibrandt. I'm Nick, and we have Harrison tonight. How are we doing tonight, Harrison?
Fantastic, Nick. Looking forward to getting into this one. I've been watching some highlights from this World Series, and this was a good one. So,
Yeah, this is going to be an awesome interview. Tons of baseball to talk through, and we will get these guys right on. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links on the tops of all of our socials. So if you do any shopping for these companies, please use our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. We also have Rounding Third merch on Etsy. If you search Rounding 3RD Baseball, you'll see sweatshirts, t-shirts, tumblers, whole bunch of stuff. Check us out there. Great way to support us and to get our name out there. And finally, on Patreon, a great community that actually supports creators like Harrison and myself. Check us out there. You can be a subscriber and get the first know on some exclusive upcoming interviews, content, and stuff like that. So check us out on Rounding Third Baseball on Patreon.
yeah. And I'm over in the Patreon chat with folks. So drop on in.
Absolutely. All right. It is time. We are going to bring our guests onto the show. We have Marshall Garvey and Charlie Leibrandt. How are we doing tonight, fellas?
Doing great.
Good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, man. This is going to be absolutely incredible. I can't wait to get into this. So, Marshall, I'm gonna start with you since you've kind of helped us orchestrate this all together. The author of Interstate 85. You were born after this. So, what was the inspiration to be like, I really, really want to write a book about this series?
Well, it's quite a story. I would start by saying I've always been into baseball history since I was a kid. I got into baseball in 2000, and I knew about the 85 World Series through a World Series encyclopedia. And it always just stuck in my mind. Hey, Brian, see him in the chat there. 85 stuck in my mind in a really, really strange way because of all the obsession with the Don Denkinger call. And it also fascinated me because it was the only time the Royals had won the World Series up to that point. And I'm growing up in the 2000s and the Royals were just garbage. So like the idea of like, there was a time when the Royals were great. It was like this far off land, far off time. And it just, I don't know, it just stuck in my head for 20 years, like 85. It sticks in the mind in a strange way. And then in the heart of quarantine, April 15th, 2020, I actually interviewed Charlie exactly 1 year later in 2021. In 2020, I was on a train of thought during a run. I was like, hey, it's lockdown. I finished first book. I started writing a novel with a friend. I'm a full-time writer. I got way more time for writing and video games. I might as well get going on my next baseball book. And a friend of mine, Jonathan Daniel, did a book about 82, and it started a train of thought. And I go for my run, and I think about 85, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like, no one's touched this in a long time. And I just kind of went on my run, ran some laps, developed the idea. Like, I came up with the title Interstate 85 while listening to Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen, like perfect omen there. And I was like, I'm all in. This will be my quarantine project. I'm going to prove there's more to this series than just the Denkinger call. Long story as short as possible. Boy, that turned out to be true.
Yeah, there's a ton to get into here. So I went back and I told you guys before we came on, I watched all 7 games yesterday. And it was incredible to just sit there, just watch baseball all day. Even as much baseball as I know, I did not know back in the 80s that the DH alternated years. So I did not know that the DH was it even numbered years in the World Series and then pitchers hit in the odd numbered years. Because I'm watching game 1, you're at Kauffman Stadium, Charlie, and I'm like, the pitchers are coming up to hit, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, the DH is implemented. Like, what? I did not know that they alternated years. That was one of the first things. I was all discombobulated for the first part of that game. But do you remember when they implemented that? Was that right when they started the DH? Do you know?
That's a good question. They started the DH when, like, in the early 70s.
Yeah.
I try to think back what they did in the World Series, and I don't remember. Obviously, when the American League played the American League, we had the DH. So I don't recall. I don't recall the World Series before mine or before 85. That's a good question. I really don't know. I wouldn't have minded, although I like pitching against pitchers. I did not like hitting. Playing in Kansas City, we never took batting practice. So I played in the National League in the early 80s in Cincinnati, so I swung the bat a little bit, and I wasn't very good, and then took 3 or 4 years off, I guess, and didn't swing it once until we got into the playoffs. So that's a little bit difficult to try to hit off guys that are throwing in the 90s with big breaking balls and really good stuff. So it was not a lot of fun hitting, but throwing against other pitchers was always good, because that was typically an out you could always use.
Yeah. Well, you hit 162 points higher than I did in the majors, so there's always that.
Yeah, but
there's that.
No home runs, a couple extra base hits, so I was the instruction back in those days was not near as good as it is today. And pitchers didn't get, when I was in the National League, even then we only hit a little bit. We hit on the field, we get several swings, and the regulars would always tell us to get out of the cage and go do something else. So they didn't take us seriously as hitters, and as well they shouldn't. But we needed more time to at least be respectable. So it was hard to. I think early on I hit $150, and then came back into the National League several years later and probably hit under 100. My batting skills got worse.
What do they give you for instruction in the World Series when you head up to the plate? Is it don't swing until there's 2 strikes? Is it just don't get hit? Like, what do they tell you as you're heading up there in the World Series?
Yeah, there was no they gave me the bunt sign and the take sign, and so I was just trying to put the ball in play before I got 2 strikes, because once I got to 2 strikes, I know they threw me a breaking ball, and I couldn't recognize the spin, and I'd swing at anything and strike out mostly. So it was kind of embarrassing if you couldn't put it in play, or I could get a bunt down, but that's about all I could do.
Yeah. All right. So Marshall, you're going to start laying out your book here, and you kind of start where both teams kind of come from. Like, what's their history, what's their story, and how they got to the 85 World Series, correct?
Yes. In the first chapter, The Road to 1985, I traced the history of both the Royals and Cardinals, how they had similarities, the ways that they're similar, the ways they contrasted, and how they converged in 85. And I especially put an emphasis on the longstanding city rivalry between Kansas City and St. Louis. And that was really fun. Like I made it a point with the book not to just like drop into the 85 series itself, and then go back out. Like anyone could do that. Like I wanted to do build it up, like trace all the stuff before the lead up to 85, the regular season, the league championship series. And what was great was, as I researched it, I noticed that the Royals and Cardinals, them meeting in 85 in that World Series wasn't like a coincidence. It almost had kind of a destiny air to it. Both teams clinched their divisions on the same day, and then they clinched their pennants on the same day, and not just any day, Missouri Day, October 16th. So when as I kept diving in with my research, I realized like there's a synergy between these two that was like cheesy to say, but it was like destiny that they'd meet that year, you could say.
That's crazy. And the Royals were kind of comeback kids now that we're in the playoffs of 85, right? You guys came from behind a couple times there to get to the World Series, correct?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. We were down 2-0 in both series and 3-1 in both series. So we were, in fact, in 1984, we lost all 3 games to the Tigers. The Tigers are a really good team that year. And so when we lost the first 2 games to the Blue Jays in 85, so with Dick Hauser had lost 5 straight games, and so we hadn't won a game. And so, we got to game 3 of the ALCS that year, and we're going, God, we got to win 1 game. And finally we did, and got back in that series, and same with the Cardinal series.
Yeah. What's the feeling like in the clubhouse when you guys get down early? I mean, you were able to switch kind of the thinking somehow. So what was the vibe in the clubhouse?
Well, in the World Series, we could have won. Game 1 was close, and game 2 was the game I pitched, and we were ahead 2-0 in the 9th inning, and we had 2 outs, and we lose that game. So, Dick Hauser was always an eternal optimist. We got on the plane. I think it's that night, or maybe probably the next afternoon. And he told me, he goes, "Hey, you've got you're going to be fine. You got game 6. Be ready to pitch. We're going to get it to game 6. So don't you worry." So with that, his leadership, and we just had a lot of optimism throughout the whole year that we were going to get it done somehow. And fortunately for us, we did.
It's awesome. All right, so Marshall, let's start getting into the series here. So what was your overall feeling for game 1? We'll just go game by game. So your overall feeling and how you kind of got to research all of this for the book.
Oh, for sure. Well, research was a pretty complex blend of, interviews with as many people as I could get, including Charlie, watching the games again, newspapers, magazines, stuff like that. It all just blended together well in the end. Game 1's pretty uneventful. It's a pretty logical opening. Cardinals with great pitching and enough, key hits. Royals were a light hitting team that year, so them scoring 1 run is kind of what it is. It's not surprising, but I was saying this on the other podcast of the NYMLB. The last out of game 1 for the Royals was Dane Orch pinch hitting against Todd Worrell, flies out to Andy Van Slyke. It's like a movie. It's foreshadowing. These names will connect again in game 6 in a much different way, So, but other than that, game 1's just pretty normal.
Yeah. All right. Game 2, Charlie, you're on the bump. You're facing Cox, and umpires are split, right? So we got AL, NL umps, and we've talked to pitchers previously about game planning for umpires. Is that something you guys did in your pregame routines?
No, we really didn't. We didn't really have the data that they have today that could tell you. I knew in my head if a guy was a good fit for me or not, but that was just from personal experience. We didn't have stats that go around and go, "Hey, this guy doesn't call the outside corner, or this guy doesn't call the inside pitch, or blah blah blah." So no, we didn't. And obviously, the other league, I wouldn't have. I probably pitched against some of those umpires when I was back in the National League when I first broke in with the Cincinnati Reds. But no, we didn't worry too much. We were more concerned with scouting reports and how we were going to pitch the Cardinals, etc.
All right, so kind of walk us through that, because you are really dominant. First 8 innings, I mean, you're just pretty much mowing them down. Like, you're working east to west, which you tended to work, right? Were you more east-west guy or north-south guy?
The way I pitched in and out, change speeds. I couldn't pitch up in the zone. Fly balls, could equate to home runs. So I tried to keep the ball on the ground. I tried to keep it down. I had a good changeup, so I made sure I threw in enough to try to keep you honest, where I could work the outside part of the plate more and open up the outside of the plate and throw it off the plate. And so my command was great that night. I threw my fastball command was good. I had a little cutter that I could get in on right-handers, a little cutter I could throw away to lefties. And so everything was sharp. They didn't have too many opportunities, I don't think. Probably a couple of hits and a walk or two until I got to the 9th inning, and almost got through the 9th, but I just couldn't make that last pitch. I had 2 outs, and probably pitched to 2 or 3 batters, and I just couldn't get that 3rd out in that inning.
Yeah. So what was the overall vibe? So I guess, and Marshall, you might be able to back me up on here, is the talk of like Quisenberry being in the bullpen and ready to go, right? So like you're like 130 pitches in. Like, how are you feeling? Was there talks in the dugout before about how you're feeling? Did Hauser say, "This is your game, go get it"? Like, what was some of the dialogue back and forth there?
There was no talk. Nobody was talking to me, and I was always one of those guys. I was only going to come out when you came out to take me out. I was probably getting tired, and I probably should have been taken out a few batters before I gave up that bases clearing double. But that's that's the way the game was played in those days.
Right.
We had 4 starters, 5 starters, and we probably threw 240 innings each.
Yeah.
So we were used to being in the game seventh inning, eighth inning all the time. So that wasn't unusual. Why Dick Hauser didn't go get quiz, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I don't know. Was I getting tired? Maybe. The results weren't in my favor. On the last couple of hitters, so easy to second guess. I wasn't going to take myself out. I wasn't going to. That's just not the way I handled my career. You come and get me, okay, but I'm not going to say I'm tired. You gotta come get me. And there's no talk in the dugout. So, and up till that point, I wasn't in much trouble, and most of the innings were fairly routine.
Yep, they were, and they were bleeders. But what was the view kind of from the? Oh, go ahead, Harrison.
I'm sorry.
I'm just going to ask, like, I was just going to ask real quick, when you're in that game, like, what are you looking for in the first inning out of your stuff, out of the umpire, out of the way hitters are responding to you that tells you it's going to be a good night? Are there signs early on that, you've got it that night and it's your night?
I pitched pretty, it's kind of the whole year. I had a very nice year. That was the best year of my career. I had an ERA mid-2s somewhere. I pitched really well in the playoffs. I pitched well came in relief in Game 7. That we end up coming back on the Blue Jays. I pitched Game 4, I believe, and I think I had a 1-0 shutout going into the 9th inning of that game. So I was throwing the ball well. I had a lot of confidence. It's nice to get off to a nice start where, I was able to get through the first couple of innings pretty easy. And so then things just built from there. And I, just kept making pitches, and guys behind me were catching it. And, so it just kept rolling. And every time I came out, it felt good. I'd get the first in, typically was getting the first guy out in every inning, and things were just rolling. And they, I just had a lot of confidence throughout that whole season.
Yeah. Marshall, what was kind of the view of Game 2 from the Cardinals' point of view? Because you got to interview both sides of this, which is really cool. They'd be kind of like in the middle of both of these teams. So what was their vibe on Game 2?
Oh, it's definitely one of high confidence. Like I talked to the Cardinals a bit about that game. The what you're touching on, the thing about Quisenberry. Oh my gosh, the second guessing chorus kicked into high gear. I emphasized that in chapter 6 of the book. Everyone was saying he should have gone to Quiz. Hauser should have gone to Quiz. But Quiz actually had kind of a down, well, at least by his standards, a down year that year. And he got touched up a bit in the ALCS. So it wasn't as cut and dried as I think some people thought. The Cardinals were definitely confident because it was a big thing. They won the first 2 games of the series on the road. At that point, no one in World Series history had lost the first 2 games at home and come back to win the series. But as we will see, the Royals would change that precedent.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that's pretty much Game 2. For me watching that, Charlie, you were completely dominant Game 2, just a couple bleeders that kind of fell in, and it was just kind of tough luck baseball, kind of like what you said, right? And I would never want anybody to take me out of a World Series game, so I have no issue with your mental thought process right there in Game 2.
I go back to game, I guess it was Game 4 against Toronto, and I was in the 9th inning, and I had the lead, and I wasn't able to hold it. So I got in that situation again, and I told myself, okay, I'm going to keep making pitches. And for the most part, I did. Jack Clark got a nice little ground ball in between third and short for a hit, and they got a bleeder somewhere, and I might have walked somebody. So I still felt pretty good. I just was not able to, make the pitch to. I got 2 quick outs, I think, sandwiched between a hit. So I think I had a man on base with 2 outs, and for whatever reason, whatever I threw up there, they were able to handle and get it into the outfield for a hit. And so, very frustrated. I thought I was going to get through it, and it just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved Jack Clark's quote. It was something along the lines of, you breezed through them like they didn't exist, which that's pretty high praise from a guy like Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one of the quotes that I remember was from Barry Bonds, pitching against him later in my career when I was with the Braves, and he said he throws like my grandma. So
Crazy.
That's a good quote from Jack. I like that one. He's a tough out.
Yeah. All right, so game 3, we have Joaquin Andahar, Brett Saberhagen, who we do find out is the World Series MVP later. What's it like watching a kid that's 20 years old coming up and having the stuff that Saberhagen has? And this could be for both of you guys, like Marshall and your research with the players you've interviewed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll let Charlie speak on that first, since he was Sabe's teammate.
Yeah.
Sabe's for a 20-year-old kid. He's probably 21 then.
He's 21, yeah.
Yeah,
he
21.
broke in 84. He was good in 84, but he was really good in 85. We were confident with him taking the hill. 20-game winner, won a lot of games. Something that I just found out myself. I asked Jim Sundberg at the 85 at our reunion last year, a 40-year reunion ago. Now you've caught Nolan Ryan and a few other guys. Who was the guy that threw the hardest? And he said Sabes threw the hardest. And I go, wow. He goes, Sabes just had that ball that just exploded into my glove. And I go, wow, I never knew that. But Sabes had impeccable control, plus fastball. And he was a ridiculous competitor. He was tough as nails. So we gave ourselves a good chance. And, we're just trying to win one game. That's all we're trying to do. And Sabes pitched a great game. And, now we're kind of back in the series at 2-1 after he threw as well as he did.
Yeah. And the Royals kind of broke out offensively, Marshall, a little bit there, right? We see some hits kind of up and down the lineup. They're starting to come alive with the bats a little bit.
Yes, and the biggest was the 2-run homer by Frank White. Frank was the last interview I conducted for the book. And, Frank, he was a great defender, and he was a good contact hitter for the most part, but he didn't really hit for power until 85 because he batted by McRae and Brett, Hal McRae and George Brett in the lineup. And so he got a lot more fastballs, like, pitchers could just go to him, and he turned it into more homers. And that fastball from Joaquin Andújar in Game 3, I mean, he just exploded on that thing. It sailed way into the tunnel and left. And Busch Stadium was not a home run hitter's park. And Frank told me it was really big because they had so many close games in the division race against the Angels, in the ALCS against the Blue Jays, then the 2 heartbreakers to start this World Series. They needed not just to win, they needed to win big, like have some breathing room. And I think that was great for Saberhagen because Saberhagen, he had freak injuries in the ALCS, so he didn't get to finish those games. His kid is about to be born. His first kid's about to be born any moment and would arrive before Game 6. So I think when White blasted that home run in particular, like the Royals were just able to breathe, as well as win and avoid a sweep.
Yeah, it was funny that you mentioned Saberhagen's wife about ready to pop because every half inning they would scan to Saberhagen in the dugout and he's like thumbs up, thumbs down. He's like, is it happening?
Yeah, and I can picture that, especially in the 8th inning. He's like, he's doing the baby bump, the kid arrived. It's great.
Yeah, it's so funny. So what was that like from a team standpoint, right? I mean, his kid's about to be born. Was he going to go? Was he going to stay? I mean, World Series is kind of like a big thing. So did you guys know what was going to happen with Saberhagen there?
No, it wasn't played up. We didn't play it up on our bench that much. I didn't know I had no idea what the due date was exactly. It's a little bit different today. I mean, now guys have paternity leaves and they leave for 3 or 4 days.
Right.
Back then, I had my first child. My daughter was born during the 85 season, but she was born in June. And so I think I left the team for a day. If she was born on the 22nd, I think I was back at the park on the 23rd, so, I might have left early. I probably went to the park and probably left early, but, it wasn't give me 3 or 4 days. And like Sabes, we didn't really know exactly what the due date was. And obviously we were fortunate that Janine held on until the end of the day with it. He was not pitching. So, we certainly couldn't have done it without him.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Yeah, we're gonna foreshadow Andahar a little bit because he does come back up later in the series, but just kind of hold that name in your head. So, all right, let's move on to Game 4. We have Bud Black against Tudor again, and Tudor pitches pretty damn well again. Another great outing from him. So, from the Cardinals' perspective, Marshall, and the kind of the overall feeling going into Game 4, what did you find?
Going into Game 4, it's like it's pretty normal, trajectory of the series so far. Nothing super controversial. Tudor honestly wasn't that sharp in Game 1, but still got the win. But in Game 4, he had 10 shutouts in that season. You're not going to see that today. He just absolutely dominated. Only one real threat. Game 4. The thing with Game 4 that's very actually sentimental to me, I interviewed Royals reliever Joe Beckwith just 2 weeks before he passed away from colon cancer in May of 2021. And Joe got to pitch 2 innings in that game, and they were both scoreless. And so even though the Royals didn't win, he kept the game in reach. And when I talked to him, he beamed with pride about that, all those decades later. So Game 4 to me is the Joe Beckwith game. I know the Cardinals won to go 3-1, but I think of it about Joe, so it's special for that reason.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible. So any thoughts out of you, Charlie? Game 4. I mean, the Cardinals had a couple home runs with Landrum and McGee kind of homer there, but other than that, anything out of Game 4 that stuck out to you?
It was the John Tudor game. He had a heck of a year. I don't know how many games he won. Over 20. I think he won the Cy Young, but he was dominant. We knew we had to get a well-pitched game. We couldn't, we were only going to score. We might score a run against them. We always kidded pitchers amongst ourselves. So we always said we can score 1 against anybody, but against him, it was going to be tough to score. And we gave up some early, and he didn't give us a chance to get back in the game. So not a good day for us. But we still. We're trying to get the game. Now we're trying to get to Game 6. We're trying to get home. So Game 5, let's not let them win at home. Let's try to get it back to Kansas City.
Yeah, and so like kind of ask, like, you guys have been in this position before. Does that help you going into Game 5? It's like, hey, we've been down 3-1, twice already. Does that help us here? Does that help your team morale there?
But, we were always confident that whoever was out there pitching, we had a good pitching staff. So whoever we ran out there, we felt good that was going to give us 6-7 innings and, hold the other team down to a run or two. And so we liked our chances. Danny Jackson had a heck of a year. He was on the bump for us in Game 5. And, whoever we ran out there, we thought we certainly did not panic. I remember being in the Cardinal clubhouse and, hey, we can do this. Let's not let them open champagne tonight. We don't want them to open champagne. So, we just took it simple. One game, we can get this back to Kansas City. And, DJ pitched a great ball game, and we got back to Kansas City.
That's awesome. So what's the feelings on the Cardinals side, Marshall, kind of going into Game 5? They're up 3-1. How are they feeling?
It's definitely confidence, but not overconfidence. Like I asked Ricky Horton what the mood was like when they went up 3-1, but I think he said they didn't really get carried away. I think one thing though was about Game 5 was, like Charlie said, Danny Jackson was going out, young gun for the Royals. The Cardinals started Bob Forsch. Now I love Bob Forsch. He's a Sacramento native. He was a terrific pitcher, and he had a solid year in '85, but he was getting older. And I don't think his stuff really wasn't moving, so he got lit up pretty bad. I think there was kind of an expectation like, all right, we can clinch it tonight, but we don't have our best. Even Bob Forsch was like, you'd want Danny Cox. You want your best guy going. So, I don't think they got carried away. And, the Royals won it pretty soundly. Willie Wilson hit a booming triple that was really close to being an inside-the-park home run. And also worth noting, Danny Jackson in that game, first and to date only immaculate inning in MLB playoff history.
Oh, is that right? I never knew that.
Yep.
Wow,
that's awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So I realized in Game 5, I saw kind of, and this might be me just overthinking it, but it looked like to me the Cardinals pitchers started kind of having an issue with the strike zone. I saw it a couple times where they were like visibly frustrated at some of the calls at home plate. And then it kind of started to snowball, I noticed, as the series go on. But game 5 was the first time I saw Cardinals pitchers really starting to kind of like visibly like show visible signs of frustration of the strike zone.
Sorry, go ahead, Charlie.
You're going to have to help me out there. I don't recall. My memory's not that good. I know they started to blow up in game 7. But
started
well, Nick, it's actually talk about observant, because it's a key trick I use in the narrative in the book. It's a little bit of foreshadowing. In game 3, Andujar groused about the strike zone, which really didn't cost him anything. He just didn't pitch well. But it was kind of which I didn't even notice that when I watched game 5. But I think what you're showing is what I foreshadow in the book. The Cardinals were kind of starting to show, they were even really bitter after they won game 4. Like John Tudor was really angry towards the media. They were kind of starting to show, even as they were going up 3-1, they're showing like cracks and the chinks in the armor, and lo and behold, that would implode later on, but we'll get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely this game where it really started to stick out to me, where it was like back-to-back pitches that were borderline pitches, and you could see the pitcher like visibly. You never saw that out of the Royals staff, to your guys' credit. Like, you guys just get the ball, get back, make your pitch, execute your pitch. But you really started to see it out of the Cardinal staff. At least that's what I observed. So just wanted to bring that up for later on. But
okay. I can't speak to anything. I don't remember. I certainly was paying attention, but my memories from 40 plus years, I don't remember that. Sorry.
No, it's all good, Charlie. No worries, man. You got a lot of baseball in that brain that I'm trying to pull out at once. So
good luck.
I appreciate it.
Good luck.
We'll love it. We got a couple of comments. Says, I wasn't old enough to remember this series, but hearing this from someone who was there has given me chills. So cool. That's awesome. And we got Curtis. I was 11 years old. I remember this World Series well. So and then baseball history dork, a lot of foreshadowing going on here. So,
yeah,
for
It'll
sure.
Pay off.
All right. Game 6, Charlie, you get the ball again. You retire 15 straight right off the bat, man. I mean, you are rolling through the first 5. How are you feeling right there after 5 minutes?
Early, I pitched well during the regular season, and I was throwing the ball well in the postseason. I knew I had to pitch well against Danny Cox, because he's right behind Tudor. He was their next best guy, and he was pretty tough. So I would just, as they say, taking it an inning at a time, and my goal every inning was try to get that first guy out. So I know how tough they were if those guys got on base, because they all like to steal bases. And so, one guy at a time, and it just kept going and kept making pitches. And, before you know it, I'm in the 6th inning. I haven't given up a hit, and it's 0-0. So, it's a little bit frustrating, but that's the way we played as the Royals. We didn't hit it a ton. We got key hits a lot when we needed them, but we were a team that played in a lot of low-scoring ball games.
Yeah, not that I need more ammo to not really care for Tim McCarver, but he jinxed the heck out of you in game 6, because he's like, Charlie hasn't thrown a pitch down the middle of the plate at all. Next pitch, boom, base hit the left. And I'm like, Tim McCarver, come on, dude. Come on.
And that was Tim McCarver's first World Series as an announcer. So right then and there.
Is that right? I mean, he's a Cardinal guy. Announces Cardinal games. He played for the Cardinals for 10 or 15 years. So, fortunately I didn't know he was jinxing me at the time, but I don't have no hit stuff. So I wasn't expecting, I was happy to get through 5 and, gave up a hit. So it was kind of expected. It was going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a bloop hit by Cedeno. Did you think that I can't remember who was playing left at the time. It was
Tito Landrum was left. Cedeno was right.
Yeah, but who was playing left for the Royals there? Was it
Lonnie Smith?
Lonnie Smith was. Because it looked like he could have gotten there.
I like Lon, but he had they named him Skates for a reason. So I don't know if he could have got it or not. I never really thought about it much. I thought, heck, I got a guy on base. I better start. I haven't pitched out of the stretch, so I better try to figure out how to pitch out of the stretch because now that's what I got to do. So
fair enough. What was the feeling from the Cardinals side there, Marshall? I'm sorry, I'm kind of like leading on you for the Cardinals, but like their perspective there.
No, that's fine. I appreciate that because I really prided that this book, I talked to a lot of guys from both teams to create a balanced narrative. Cardinals, it's definitely intense. I'm glad you asked because, they took a 1-0 lead on a pinch hit by Brian Harper, pinch hit RBI single by Brian Harper off of Charlie in the 8th. And I think there's one of the themes I built with the Cardinals fans in the middle of the series was that they kind of got ahead. They really got ahead of themselves. And there was a bit of that from the Cardinals players. Andy Van Slyke actually grabbed a portion of Brian Harper's broken bat, sat next to him in the dugout, pretended the bat was a microphone, and pretended he was like doing a mock interview with Harper. Like, here's the hero of the 1985 World Series. And when I interviewed Andy, he was like, I got ahead of myself. I think we as the Cardinals might have got a little ahead of ourselves there. It's like John Von de Velde of the 1999 Great British Open. He's got a 4-stroke lead and he melts down. It's like Andy said to me, if you're not in the moment, doing your job, you won't like how it ends. And the way Andy said that was really, really honest, and it was true. I think they got ahead of themselves, and well, that's what happened.
Yeah. And I mean, like we've kind of said, both teams were kind of light hitting throughout this entire World Series, but I thought the Royals all the way through really put up professional at-bats. Like, they didn't throw away an at-bat at all in that World Series. You guys didn't throw away a single pitch. I felt like the Royals, to your point, Marshall, were very focused throughout the entire 7 games, every inning of that series.
Oh, yeah. And Charlie could
like I said, we played a lot. We played a lot of close games, so we were used to that. And so we were down 1-0, and we just try to give it our best shot late. And fortunately, we caught a break in the 9th and took advantage of it. And they made some miscues, pass ball, a missed pop up down the first base line. So we were able to take advantage of their mistakes, and Dane Orange got back up in a key situation and got a nice bloop hit, and we were in business. We really liked our chances once we got that bloop hit, and Sundberg comes sliding home. We got Sabes on the mound in Game 7, and as a pitcher, I know how hard it is to pitch on 3 days rest, and we knew Tudor was pitching on 3 days rest for the 3rd time. So, we knew we were going to give him a little better game than we had the first 2 times we faced him.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Harrison.
So along those same lines, Charlie, where the Royals were kind of a lighter hitting offense, do you feel that pressure as a pitcher, knowing that you have to be that much better, like that much more perfect, that one mistake could be a problem, knowing that you don't have a big offense behind you?
The focus is always sharp. You knew you just had to do it. Was there more pressure? I felt more pressure. I remember pitching one game against the Toronto during the regular season, and we scored 5 in the first inning. And I went out there to pitch in the. We were on the road. We scored 5, and I go out and pitch the bottom of the first inning. I had a lot of pressure. Now I got a 5-run lead. What am I supposed to do? We're not used to pitching with 5. So that was a different sort of pressure. I'm going, 5. I got to get to the 5th inning. I got to try to get a win. And so, funny things go through your brain. In a close game, your brain's not wandering. You're focused on who the next hitter is. What did I do with him the previous bat? What did I throw him? What did he hit? What am I going to throw next? So, I never gave it much thought about, woe is me with 0-0. We haven't got a run. It's the 5th, 6th, 7th inning. It's just, okay, hey, go out and try to throw up another 0.
Yeah. All right, let's rewind a little bit. 9th inning, Game 6, and the moment happens. Lead us up to that, Marshall, and take us through it.
With pleasure. I mean, it's the moment we all know. It's one of the moments that ultimately shapes baseball. I Cardinals fans have turned it into total victim complex, which I don't agree with, but hey, we know it. The call, Cardinals are up 1-0, bottom of the ninth. Todd Worrell's on the mound for the Cardinals through a weird flurry of managerial moves. George Orta is pinch hitting. He had a solid year, but didn't do anything in the playoffs, and he's an older player. So this doesn't really look like a good matchup. Orta taps a grounder to the right side. And as George Brett emphasized to me, that play is not smooth. The hit just kind of weirdly withers, and like the defenders all move in kind of a weird way. It's not a smooth play. But Jack Clark fields it, shovels it up to Worrell more than in time, except first base umpire Don Denkinger, who I interviewed for the book with his family. Great guy. Denkinger, too close in his observation, and because the crowd was so loud that night, Joe Beckwith talked about that too. Crowd was just ear-splitting. Denkinger couldn't hear the pop, pop, ball and glove, foot on bag, the sequence of sound. He had to view it in the order he saw it, and it looked to him like Orta was safe. Obviously, he wasn't, but again, the Cardinals, they fumed a bit and argued, but then the reality is it's one man on, and yeah, you want that first out right away, but it's only one man on, and there was more that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, so then it looks like Cardinals catcher gets crossed up on a slider, right? Kind of drops it, pass ball.
Yep.
And then Jack Clark, who hasn't played much first base, kind of goes over for a foul. You said this earlier, Charlie, kind of goes over to the first base dugout, kind of misplays. I mean, it was still going to be a tough play because the ball ended up in the dugout, I think.
Oh, I think it landed on the not the turf, but the rubber. I think it landed on the rubber between the artificial turf and the dugout.
Yeah,
the best of my recollection, it was a big bounce after it hit the. So it wasn't like he had to lean over into the dugout and grab it.
Okay.
I think he was worried about going in the dugout, but it was a plenty pop up that was high enough that most guys are going to catch that. Unfortunately for us, he got over there. I don't think he knew exactly where his feet were, and thought he was going to go into the dugout, slowed down, took his eye off it, and the ball landed right next to him. So that was a play that should have been made.
Absolutely. I honestly put more emphasis on that than the Denkinger call. Yeah, it was a pop-up by Steve Balboni. It hung there long enough. That was Jack Clark's first season at first base, after playing outfield with the Giants for a long time. If he or Darryl Porter catches that, I think that they can put the Orta call behind them. But then Balboni, and you got to give the Royals credit. They still had to pull off everything they could in a high-wire situation. And Balboni, a strikeout or nothing hitter, strikeout, home run, or nothing in between in the regular season, Balboni gets a base hit to make it 2 on and nobody out. And that's where it swiveled. Also worth noting, I recently did an article about this at my Substack. The Royals had 10 walk-off wins during the regular season. So the fact that they did it again when they needed it most in the World Series, I don't think that's like fluky at all. It's just who they were.
Yeah. All right. So that play really benefits the Royals, obviously, right? The Orta play. How do you feel about instant replay now, Charlie?
I think it's made the game better. You hate to, watching games today and you see a call that's missed and you don't see that anymore because they get it right. And I think you get it right. That's what the fans want. As a player, I don't mind it at all. I'd rather see them get it right. Balls and strikes the same way. Too many times over the years until this year or last year, I can't remember when they started I guess it was this year, the ABS. Yeah. I think that's been good. There's too many times where I would throw a pitch and I go, oh man, I thought it was a strike. Now I'm 3-1. I should be 2-2. So stuff like that gets you in bad counts. Let's get it right so that we get it right. Like football. Football gets it right. Instant replay. All the plays are reviewed. We get 2 challenges in baseball, so I think they've gotten it right, and I'm certainly fine with it. They would have gotten the Denkinger call right, no problem. We would have still had 2 outs to go, and we would have still battled. Whether we come back and win, I don't know, but we get it right. That's what everybody wants, because nobody would be talking about that today. So it's the game's where it should be.
Yeah. I love that perspective. That very well said. All right, Marshall, lead us into game 7. What are both sides feeling? It's 3-3. the Cardinals, just had the biggest injustice done against them, quotes. So what is kind of the feeling going into Game 7?
Oh, you couldn't have a bigger contrast. Royals had just absolute swagger. They knew they had it. They were just lively in the clubhouse, and the Cardinals were dead. Absolutely shell-shocked. I interviewed Chris Brown, this really nice guy. We're actually doing an event in Kansas City in July with Vahe Gregorian of the Kansas City Star. Chris was working as a bat boy in 85. He had to work the Cardinal clubhouse that night. He said he remembered opening the door. The Cardinals came in just like it was just a funeral procession. And Terry Pendleton sat by his locker just like frozen, like still for an hour, like he was a statue. The Cardinals were they did not take the call and the loss well. Whitey Herzog just vented to the press like, we're done. Damn Dankinger. Like, we had it all won tonight. The umpires are screwing us. And when they came out for Game 7, like they given up. Like, Herzog tried to do a pep talk before Game 7. It failed miserably. They were just they were done.
Yeah. So start of Game 7. What's it feel like in the Royals clubhouse, Charlie?
Well, I don't know that we were as confident as they were despondent. We were a team we still got to face Tudor, and we don't score that many runs, so we get Sabes. We love Sabes. Sabes on the mound. Sabes is going to, pitch a good game. We know that. Sabes is only going to get him a run or two. We feel that. So we're confident. We're at home. We like our chances, but we're not overconfident. And so, we're just trying to take the lead. Sabes, gets us out of the first couple innings. I remember Darryl Motley hits a foul home run. You're going, oh man, how are we gonna, and then a couple pitches later he hits it fair. And
so not only that, he goes back to the dugout and changes out his bat. So everybody in the booth is like, what is he doing? He just rips one 400 feet foul and he's changing his bat. What is he doing? And it was like you said, 2 pitches later, 2-run jack.
I just, when people hit a foul home run off me, I go, all right, good, because you're not getting that pitch again, and good luck hitting something that's out of the strike zone and down and away, because you had your chance. So that's the way I kind of felt about Mott's foul home run. I wasn't overconfident that he was going to do it again against a great pitcher like Tudor, and Tudor wasn't sharp. Gave him another good pitch to hit, and Motley put it in play and put it over the fence this time fair. So we got off to a nice lead, and then those guys were, they were done. From there, they were done. But early on, we were not overconfident. We were just playing our game, and we liked our chances. We had saves, but we knew it was going to be a fight to the end. I was glad it wasn't. It's nice to go into the later innings with a big lead, knowing you're going to be, throwing some champagne around in a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. The fifth inning was the killer, right? I mean, that's when you guys, what was it? Did you score 9 that inning? Was it full 9? 9. Yeah.
Or was it 9 or was it 7? Because they
might have been,
they go up a bit off of Bill Campbell, I think, in like the 3rd, and then they poured on like 7. But that person was right, Curtis. Yeah, 5th inning was the killer. That was the inning from hell for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it was 6 in the 5th.
6. Thank you.
I didn't think it was 9, but I knew we knocked Tudor out. We got Andahar in there, and he was not having a good day, and then things kind of blew up. I'm not exactly sure how, but I knew we got to him, and then they started losing their poise, and then we took it from there, and that was it.
Yeah, losing the poise is a very nice way to put it, because they lost their shit, to be completely honest. So Andahar throws one borderline pitch. I mean, it's inside, it's off the plate, and he kind of throws his hands up, and then he throws another pitch right after that, and that's when he just loses his mind. Him and Herzog get tossed. What was that like for you, Marshall? Kind of the interviewing those guys in the Game 7 atmosphere, I guess, from the Cardinals.
Well, Andy Van Slyke spoke very candidly about that. He started in right for the Cardinals in Game 7. I asked him, what was your reaction to Andahar blowing up? And Andy was just like, I was mad at him. just thought it. He said, "I was like, I just thought it was ridiculous. Like, we look like a bunch of babies, to be honest with you." Like, Andy was really. I think Andy's not like bitter about losing the series, or like he's not bitter about Dinkinger. He's definitely upset that the Cardinals didn't go out more gracefully, and I think that's a fair point. And like we said, it was foreshadowing. The Cardinals were starting to get a little chintzy about the strike zone. Andujar started that complaining, and Andujar blew up. And like you said, he and Herzog got tossed, and it just couldn't have been a worse inning overall for St. Louis.
Well, and the Cardinals kind of like came unwound on themselves. This is a team, like you mentioned, was they were showing some cracks in the armor. They were having some struggles. They got more and more vocal. They became more and more, I would say, kind of visually frustrated. And then they just like lost it. Once that you could see, once they got behind in Game 7, there was no coming back from that team. They were in their heads and falling apart.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. In their minds, they felt Game 6 was stolen from them. That's at the time, that's your mindset. Hey, we should have won it yesterday, and now we're not. It's over. And, so the finality sets in and you go, oh, this is not good. I'm not happy. They took it from us. But sometimes, as you said, shit happens. So good for us and not so good for them.
Yeah. So
question, or just staying on that same line, question for you, Marshall. What was the overall perception of Herzog in that series? Was there a little bit of the leader losing his cool and everybody else following, or what happened there?
I think that in those last two games, or like for Game 7, I think there's a perception of that, at least from me. And I say that respectfully. I love Whitey. He's a great manager, great baseball personality. I didn't interview him for the book because I know at that point he didn't like to talk about 85 anymore. I think Whitey was a great manager and leader, but I do, like I mentioned, the way he vented to the press, like, we don't have a damn chance. We should have won it tonight. I firmly believe he drilled that mentality into the players, like fresh after Game 6. So it had consolidated in their minds as they got into Game 7. So the Cardinals' main weakness was that they just didn't hit throughout that series. And credit to Charlie and the Royals aces for keeping that great offense in check. But yeah, in that last game, I think Herzog had that defeatist attitude, and I think he's a bit to blame for that.
Yeah. I mean, St. Louis mustered all of 2 runs between 5, 6, and 7. So there was nothing going on there.
We have a comment that says Andy Van Slyke must have hated seeing Charlie in the playoffs. Lost to him the 85 World Series and the 91 and 92 NLCS.
Well, that was the 91 and 92. Both good series. We got them again in a heartbreaker, and I think it was 91 when, I don't know if you guys remember, we're down 2-0 in the 9th inning, Game 7, and we string together a couple of hits, and we get a Sid Bream with 2 outs, scores on a base hit from a guy named Francisco Cabrera, who didn't get many hits for us the whole year, pinch hitter. Slings the ball out to Barry Bonds, and base hit, two-run base hit, and we beat him 3-2. That had to be just as tougher for Andy to lose that one as well. So we just the Braves had the Pirates number, and for one series we had the Cardinals number.
Yeah.
Well, and you had Pendleton. Pendleton got to be on the other side of one of those this time. So
Pendleton was on the good side of that one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I have a question for both of you, and I'm interested to see what your perspectives are. So I'll start with Marshall. If you could choose an unsung hero of the 85 World Series, who would you choose? So obviously not Brett. If you could choose an unsung hero of the 85 World Series, who would you choose?
I am going to go, and that is a great question because it's so obvious. Saberhagen's MVP, the starting pitching is great. I'm going to go, if I can't count playoffs before, because the overall unsung hero of the 85 Royals is Steve Farr in the ALCS, but that's a whole other story. But for the 85 World Series, the unsung hero is Dan Quisenberry. And he was the winning pitcher of Game 6. Quisenberry relieved Charlie in the 8th inning, bases loaded, and he's facing Willie McGee, who wins NL MVP that year. If Willie gets a hit, I think it could be over. But Quiz wriggled out of the jam, kept it 1-0, and kept it within reach. And Quiz had some playoff heartbreaks throughout his career, like in the 80 World Series and then in the ALCS against Toronto in 85. But right there, when more than ever, when he needed to, he was clutch. He kept it within reach, and that doesn't get talked about a lot. For as celebrated as Quiz is, he should be remembered as a hero for being the winning pitcher of that game. So yeah, Dan Quisenberry, unsung hero of the 85 World Series. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. All right. From the dugout itself. How about you, Charlie? And you can choose you if you want.
Yeah, that's no, I don't I don't like to choose myself in anything. To be honest with you, that's for other people to decide. But Danny Jackson pitched a really good game to get us back home. I don't know who else. I don't know if I can think of anybody else. Everybody, played well enough. A lot of guys played well enough to keep us in the game, but I can't really name another guy. Quiz, obviously, Marshall's right. If he doesn't get us out of that 8th inning, if we're down more than 1 run, I don't know if we come back. That's a lot for us. So keeping it at 1 was huge. So yeah, it's got to be Quiz or DJ to get us back home. He pitched a complete game, and DJ was nails during the ALCS. So one of those 2 guys probably, but there's a lot of guys that just we didn't have a lot of big hits, but enough, and pitching was good, and it's just the way we played.
Yeah. I mean, I talked to you guys a little bit about it. Like my guy that I messaged Marshall last night, and I was like, Biancalana for me, I thought that whole left side, I mean, obviously George Brett, right? No one really knows who Biancalana was. And that was my first introduction to him watching these 7 games yesterday. But the left side of your infield was solid all 7 games. Like there was no mistakes. They got to everything. I mean, it helps when you do have a Hall of Famer at third base, but I thought those guys outplayed the Cardinals left side, which is saying something defensively.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, Buddy played well. We, pitching and defense, that's how we won most of our games. And we caught everything. So, that's a good choice as well. I mean, one of the callers or guys that texted in said Dane's that was a big hit.
Massive.
Dane, I don't know if he got another at bat in the series. I can't remember. He probably got 1, but that's his job. But come in that situation, we're down a run, and he's got against a tough reliever, and he's got to get something done, and he does. So that's he's as good as any too. But there's a lot of guys that played a role, and we all played enough of a role to get it done.
Yeah. What I find most shocking about that series, when I look at the Royals, I look at the offense. You guys had a ton of hits. It was 68 total hits in the series. George Brett had 10, and yet the offense really didn't produce a lot. I think there's only 2 home runs.
That's a surprise. So 68. You're telling me we got almost 10 hits a game, huh? That's
Wow.
Yeah, 68 hits in the series from your guys. George Brett alone had 10 of them, but it seemed like that big hit was always missing. There's only 2 home runs. There's not a lot of runs driven in, but it seemed like you guys just kept coming at them with singles and just couldn't string enough of them together to really get momentum going. But you got several guys. I mean, George Brett hit 370, Balboni hit 320. A lot of guys that had some good offensive success, just not the big hits.
George was, we didn't even mention George, and George is just a given, He carried us in the ALCS, and you said he hit 370. And that's just what we expected out of George. He was always hitting, and he always came up with big hits. For us not to even mention him at all, that's kind of hard to believe, but, you expect that out of Hall of Famers, and, George was that good.
Yeah, well, 45 of those 68 hits were in Game 7, so we'll call it there. But
fair.
I think for me, like really, watching as much of the game as we do today, and going back and watching 85, and watching all of you guys go eight innings consistently, almost 9, and then do it again 3 days later, do it again 3 days later. Like, that is so impressive to me. How does your arm feel after a year of 240 innings plus the playoff innings? What does your body feel like after that?
Well, you pitch an extra month into the season. I was pitching and just, I didn't think about how I felt. My arm, when you throw 110 pitches over 8 or 9 innings, that's not hard. When you have to throw 80 over 4 innings, that's when it gets hard, and you're pitching in trouble every inning. That's when it gets hard. So for the most part in the postseason, I was able to keep the damage down. My pitches per inning were down, so I didn't feel tired. A lot of adrenaline, cameras and sold out stadiums, and everywhere you go between games, people are, rooting you on and wishing you well. So you're really jacked up. You're on emotional high. So I didn't feel tired until the off season, and just trying to do your job. I mean, that. The previous era to me, guys were throwing 300 innings, and so it didn't feel out of the ordinary to just throw 240. That was more of a responsibility that we all took seriously. We go, okay, we're going to get into the 7th or 8th inning every game. You're not knocking me out. And fortunately, in the American League, you never got pinch hit for, obviously, because we had the DH, so you didn't have to worry about that. If you pitched well enough, Dick Hauser is going to leave us all out there for a lot of innings until we blew up. And most of us, and there's a couple of blow ups for each of us, out of 35 starts. But for the most part, we were able to get it done night in and night out. And, that's kind of what we prided ourselves on.
Yeah, we got a question, similar line of conversation there from one of our viewers asking about current day pitching and how you view current day pitching, where there are so very few complete games anymore. And guys are basically just going 5 and exiting. Well, what are your thoughts on today's stat?
That's the analytics in the game today. I don't necessarily agree with it. I get it. Guys are throwing 100. They don't like contact anymore. When I was coming up, our pitching coaches stressed, all right, pitch to contact, try to get guys out on the first or second pitch. Now they don't want that. They want you to strike guys out. They don't want you to pitch to contact. And so pitches per inning are high. They're going for strikeouts. If you're I probably averaged 5 strikeouts per 9, maybe 5.5. I don't remember exactly. And you can't pitch in today's game like that. You have to punch out a guy an inning or more. And so the average guys, the 3, 4, 5 starters are pitching 5. They don't want them to pitch they don't want to pitch to the third time around the lineup. I don't necessarily agree with it. I like, when I watch a game, I like watching the starters. When I was a kid growing up, I liked watching Jim Palmer or Sandy Koufax or those guys. I didn't want to watch an opener and guys I didn't know. I didn't want to watch the 5th starter. I want to watch guys that are out there for 7, 8, 9 innings. That's just the way the game was played. It's probably more efficient today, less contact. Is it a better game? Don't necessarily think so, but that's what it's all driven by analytics, and so I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Unfortunately, in the game, all the guys, everybody's getting Tommy Johns. They're going through 30 plus pitchers a year for every team, which is unfathomable to me, because in our year, we had 9 pitches on our team, and I think we had 2 or 3 guys called up at some point during the season, so we might have had 12 guys that pitched, and we all were healthy, and we all made every start. Unusual, but the teams I was on in Atlanta did the same thing. So it's just different. We never threw every pitch with 100% effort. If I got into a jam, I'd try to turn it up a notch, even though my turning up a notch is not a lot, but the intensity got higher. But I wasn't throwing every pitch as hard as I can, and that just invites injury, and it's unfortunate guys getting hurt as much as they do today. But that's the way the game is.
Yeah, you guys only carried 8 pitchers for the World Series, right? Was it 8?
Yeah, right.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's
blows my mind.
I know we had 9 during this regular season, and I think we only used 7 for the most part. We had our 5 starters and Steve Farr and Dan Quiz. Oh, we had Joe Beckwith. Okay, so there's another one. Joe pitched some, so we used 8, but you know, now they have 13, and they use them all. You know, so it's just different. But
it's lonely out in the bullpen for those 3 guys, huh?
I was going to say.
Those poor guys didn't get a lot. Well, I mean, we all 5 starters averaged 220 innings. I don't know how many innings there are in a year, but that's probably you know, a good 75% of the innings that we ate up. So you know, that's just the way the game was. I mean, before me, it was even worse. You know, guys were pitching 300 innings, and before them, they were, you know, those guys that won 40 games and, you know, 500 games in their career, they pitched a lot. So that's just not the way it is anymore.
Yeah. There's having no bullpen because the bullpen's not good, and there's having no bullpen because there's just nobody out there.
We, you know, I mean, it's now they got, you know, every team has a handful of guys out there. They're pretty good. If you're a good team, every team's got 4 or 5 guys that are pretty good. That, you know, you don't mind seeing. It just wasn't that way. That we just teams didn't have that depth that they do now, and so they're just more talented than ever. Players are bigger and stronger. Are they better? Yeah, for the most part, sure. But you know, the game's changed, and you know, it's going to keep changing.
Yeah, Marshall, so interviewing all these guys, putting your book together, what was your favorite moment or interview story? Like, what was your favorite part of doing this project?
Oh, that's such a tough question to ask, because like, it was the book, the journey of putting this book together. It's a story in its own. It's pretty wild. There are just so many great. Every interview was just like a very special memory. Like I mentioned, like I interviewed Charlie. He was one of my earliest interviews on the 1-year anniversary of conceiving the book. So many great things. Like when I interviewed Jeff Lottie of the Cardinals, I just loved his goofy kind of grandpa laugh. Or when I interviewed Don Denkinger, asking him how he met his wife, Gail, and he was like, "Oh, I better get it right because she's sitting right here next to me," and they like laughed together. You know, just like, and interviewing George Brett while he's walking his dog. I should clarify, I did 26 interviews by phone and 1 by email. So, but like, I couldn't pick a favorite. Or like I described earlier, Andy Van Slyke, his humor and also his honesty and the cool, level-headed way he looks back on it. It's hard to pick just one moment out of a 5-year journey that changed my life. Like every interview is great. The people of 85, Cardinals, Royals, Denkinger, and his family, all the families are just wonderful people. And yeah, I didn't want to tie us all back. I just can blabber on forever. It was just an amazing ride. I'm glad to make all these connections and glad to be. Did I interview Joaquin Andújar? Well, he passed away from diabetes in 2015, unfortunately. So that was well before I conceived the book. But people have asked me, like, what if you talked to Andújar? And I kind of have a feeling, I wish he were still with us, but I have a feeling he probably would not have wanted to discuss it. I know Todd Worrell does not talk about it anymore, so I'd even bother bugging him. But yeah, overall, just the diversity of voices and memories and just getting to meet these cool people. I wouldn't trade that experience in for anything. It was just a blast.
That's awesome. All right. So where can they find your book? We actually have some people in the comments that would wonder if you would be willing to sign some books for us too.
Oh, for sure. Well, you can buy copies from me directly, and I can personalize them if you want. You can buy it. It's Interstate 85, the Royals, the Cardinals, and the Show Me World Series. Again, interviewed Charlie and just about anyone else you can think of, including George Brett and Ozzie Smith. You get it through any major bookseller. You can buy it from me directly. You can reach out to me at that, and I'll personalize it for you. We can arrange that. And yeah, it's done well. It's gotten great reviews. I had a Cardinals fan tell me he put it on the level of David Halberstam. He loved it so much. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
wow.
It was wild. So yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, it's and hey, credit to where it's, you know, I put the story together, but the people of 85 made for a great chapter in history that, you know, for the longest time was just crying about the call, but really it was a deep, unique World Series and a great season. And yeah, like I said, I'm just grateful I got to be the messenger.
Yeah. Do you have any other books that are like Interstate 85?
I have my first book is about the history of baseball in Sacramento. It's called The Hidden History of Sacramento Baseball, all the more relevant with Major League Baseball in Sacramento, which, well, that's been a trip. I also co-authored a novel with a friend. The novel's called Elwood's Odyssey. It also incorporates lots of baseball and other sports into the narrative. So, yeah, those are my other 2 books, and I'm proud of them all, but this is the one I'm most proud of. So,
yeah. Well, I really appreciate the time. Charlie, thank you so much for getting us an inside perspective on that. And Marshall turning me on to the 85 World Series again. Like, I was 1. So, like, I obviously knew a World Series happened in 85, but I actually got to dive into it, watch the whole thing in a day, which was absolutely incredible. I didn't, we talked about the commercials before. Just like my wife's like, "What are you watching?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." But it was really cool to hear your inside perspectives about the team, the Royals, and your perspective of the whole World Series. Really appreciate your time, Charlie.
I appreciate you guys having me on. It was fun talking to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you want to come on and talk ball, we'd love to have you back.
Marshall knows how to get in touch with me, so if you're desperate, I'm here.
Sounds good. And Marshall, thank you so much for setting this up, getting us going. Best of luck in any projects you have going forward. You're welcome anytime to come on, plug it, talk baseball, anytime you want. Just let me know. You're welcome.
Oh, thanks a ton. This was an episode for the ages. I've done a gazillion podcasts, radio shows, all that. This, and especially Charlie with just that great insight and memories. This is a real keeper. I'm grateful this all came together.
I love it. So good luck forward, guys, and really appreciate your time. Take care. We'll be in talks for sure.
All right. Good night, guys. Thank you. Good talking.
Thank you.
Good night.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Dang. Yeah. That was freaking amazing.
That World Series was pretty wild. I mean, I remember it because I at some point in time I did catch some of it or like a special or something that featured it. So I was familiar with some of it, but I really kind of got into it, and it's an amazing World Series. And what's cool is, you had the Royals that fought their way through a hell of a series with Toronto to get there, and then had to do it again, and just continue. That team was like such a bunch of grinders, and just they would not stop. They would not take no for an answer.
No, and for them to kind of dig out of that 3-1 hole 3 times is nuts. Like that Royals team is very underrated for who they had on their team. I mean, Frank Wright, Willie Wilson. I was watching some plays. He played just as shallow as our guy Andrew Jones. Yeah, there was balls that were hit over his head in the World Series. You're like, oh, there's no chance he's camped under it. Never mind. And I was floored. I mean, that team was fun to watch. I was so glad I went back and watched that. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, there was a couple times balls were hitting the gap. I'm like, oh, that's going to get down, and it didn't. And I was like, where the hell did he come from? Like, how did he even get there?
Yeah.
But that Game 4 loss where Tudor just rolled, and like, I mean, that felt like standing on their throat. There was no give from him, and he just rolled through that team. To then follow that up with just some duds is that's crushing. And I asked the Herzog question only because like I feel like watching it and also kind of listening to a lot of things about it. I feel like Whitey Herzog led that team off a cliff, whether he meant to or not. He got so wrapped up in it that I think he dragged them all with him.
I mean, in the moment, you have to, right? I mean, it was a blatant missed call. I mean, you don't even have to slow it down, and you're like, like what happens, and you still cringe, right? You're just like, oh God, that really was bad. I mean, it makes the Armando Galarraga play look really close. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I mean, that's how bad the call was.
Yeah, I love the interview with George Brett they did. I think MLB Network did it. And George Brett's like, we're watching him. It looked like Worrell's foot came off. Like, he's safe for sure. And they kind of cut to the clip to come back, and George Brett goes, but he was definitely out. Well, but at the same time, like, I mean, that's part of the game. Like, that's, there bad bounces happen, bad calls happen. the difference between the Royals and the Cardinals is the Royals could handle adversity. You know, they went down 3-1 and didn't sweat it. The Cardinals couldn't. That team was very much built with front runners, and when they didn't go their way, they couldn't handle it. And I think that's where I don't blame Herzog for it, but Herzog didn't gather the guy. He didn't rally the troops when he needed to. He threw the pity party and they all joined him.
Yeah, if you watch Dick Hauser in the Royals dugout, he is the same. He's not up, he's not down, he's just right here, steady Eddie. And that really showed across the entire Royals team. It's like they were never out of it, because like you kind of said, once your leader has kind of lost it, then like that's what the rest of the team follows naturally.
Yeah. Right?
You are a leader, whether it's negative or positive, and that sets a bad tone. But man, oh man.
I could have talked to those guys for hours. Like I would have loved to pick Charlie Leibrandt's brain about, you know, more of that season, more of that series. I could have picked his brain about 91, because 91 I thought was fascinating. The whole, you know, Sid Bream and Terry Pendleton's MVP season, and I mean, it just, I could have gone on for hours with those guys. And I love Marshall's enthusiasm and energy about this series, about the book, about the game. Like I want to read the book. I really, because based on the way he tells the story, it has to be great.
Yeah. And it must be such a cool feeling, right? To like be able to have the opportunity to talk to as many guys as he did. 27 guys across both teams you're getting a lot of perspective from many different angles. That must have been absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's times they pan over to the dugout, and like I'm wondering if Dick Hauser's like still with us. That dude is like deadpanned, totally chill. But I love what Charlie said. Like, was there any conversation about whether you're going to go out? Nope. Like, and that's, I think, the beauty of what Dick Hauser did was, when I'm ready, I'll come get you. But until then, it's yours. Like, let's not worry about it. Let's not talk about it. I want you focused. Mm-hmm. And I think that was some of the genius of Dick Hauser, was the fact that he just hung back and let the game play out, and let his guys do what they did. And when they needed it, he went and got it. But he did not make the moment bigger than it needed to be. And I mean, and Charlie was friggin', I mean, he was probably the unsung hero of that series, but he was friggin' nails.
He was lights out game 2 and game 6. I mean, he set down 15 in a row to start game 6. Game 2, he was unreal. And like I said, the only really big hit was Pendleton to kind of give up the lead there. Yep. But before that, it was just bloopers, like end of the bat, off the fist. I mean, he was in and out, soft, hard. I mean, watching him pitch was a masterpiece. Both games, he was unreal.
Yeah. And he was so steady. In the regular season, he made 33 starts to a 2.69 ERA, went 17-9. In the playoff, in the World Series, he made 2 starts. You know, obviously he took the loss, which stinks, but he's a 2.76 ERA, 16 the third innings, 5 runs given up. He was the same guy, night in, night out. And you knew what you were going to get from him. And he was going to go deep in the game. He's going to keep you in the game. And God help you, if you get a few hits, you'll win him a game.
Yeah. I mean, just really, really cool. I mean, I always love talking to these former players. And the more that we're doing it, the more like we just find out that there's just like, they're just dudes. They love talking about the game. And it's so cool.
I love it.
So guys, support Marshall. Marshall's a great guy, did crazy work on this. So check it out. Interstate 85. He's in the Facebook world. He said he would be willing to sign copies for you guys. So reach out to him directly, and then you guys can work it out with him. Or you can click the link. Harrison posted it in the chat for Amazon. But if you do want a signed copy, reach out to him. He said he was all for it. So check that out. And this is already coming in the mail for me. I can't wait to get this.
I totally want a signed copy. I got to reach out to him.
Now, like I said, going back and watching all 7 games in the past 24 hours, and then kind of hearing it all fresh come from these guys was just absolutely incredible. But if you want to go back and watch this series, do it. It's all on YouTube. Definitely check out Charlie's starts, because you'll just be like, wow, like pitching was way different back then, East and West, and just it was incredible. And as someone that loves baseball as much as I do, as much as you do, kind of going back and and remembering what baseball was like back then is pretty damn awesome. But
well, and I love the fact like you can go find it on YouTube. Like just search for it. You can find it on YouTube. I found like game summaries. I found full games. I found all of it. I just kind of flipped through it and caught a bunch of it. But I love the fact that it's not so old. We can still watch it. But I love the way that Marshall kind of his enthusiasm for it, the way he tells the story. I would imagine the book sounds very similar and will be quite the read.
Yeah, I can't remember. Man, awesome interview. So thank you so much, Marshall, for setting that up and coming on, bringing Charlie with you. This will be one. I know you said it was one for the ages for you, but this one it's way up there for us as well. This was absolutely incredible. And as the baseball nerd that I am, man, I'm sitting here geeking out, as you can probably tell.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't even celebrated my first birthday yet when the series was going on, and it's wish I could have seen it live, but it's I love the story of it and the fact that you got this in-state rivalry, and it's and Marty, I love this point, small market teams being relevant. Yes. I love that part of it where, literally everybody had a shot. Every team was in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was so different back then. Like it was, 4 playoff teams, 2 divisions in each league. Like that's it,
Yep.
You have to have the best record or you don't go to the playoffs. That's it.
And you get thrown in the championship series against the other top seed, and then you fight to the death to move on to the World Series.
Yeah. I mean, just like, what was it back here? The 8 pitchers that they had on the World Series roster. Talk about, Chad said it. I love how we brought up the Royals only using 8 pitchers. In 85, Quisenberry pitched 129 innings. Bayo had the second most innings pitched for the Sox last year with 166. It was a really different game. 8 pitchers on their roster for the World Series, Harrison. 8.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I nowadays these teams are carrying 14 or 15 pitchers because you got 5 guys in the bullpen that are specialists. You've got a closer, a setup guy, a left-handed guy, a long reliever. Like everybody's got a specialty. Like I only face lefties in the 8th inning. I only face righties on Tuesday. That wasn't a thing back then. Hey, Quiz, our guy's done in the 7th inning. You got to pitch the 8th and the 9th tonight, bud. Get warmed up. You're going to pitch 2.
Yeah.
Imagine asking a closer today, hey, can you go throw me 2 innings? Most of those guys are going to be like, no. Like, I get you 3 outs. That's what I do. It's just it's so bizarre for what we see.
And what we didn't even bring up to them is there was 2 key guys that didn't even get a chance to play in that World Series, with Vince Coleman being injured and Brian McRae being the DH, but there was no DH spot.
Oh, right.
So he only had like 2 at-bats in the entire World Series. So those are 2 pretty biggish guys. I mean, Vince Coleman with 110 steals in the regular season.
Yep.
Doesn't get to set the table for the Cardinals. Brian McRae has been your DH all year. He doesn't get to play. I mean, those are 2 big names that we still talk about today that weren't a part of that 85 World Series.
That is true. And the irony of it is, so if I look at the Kansas City Royals pitching in the series, they only carried 8 pitchers. They only used 6.
Yeah.
It was Joe Beckwith, who threw 2 innings, Bud Black, who threw 5 1/3, Danny Jackson threw 16, Charlie threw 16, Quiz threw 4, and Sabes threw 18. That's it. That's all they used.
Yeah.
That's even wilder because they didn't use Farr at all, and Gubazov was in the roster. They didn't use him either.
Right. He was up in the bullpen a ton, but just Hauser never went to him.
So yes, they carried 8 pitchers, but only 6 guys stepped on the mound in that whole series. It was 4 starters and 2 relievers. That was it.
Yeah.
And Saberhagen. I mean, I would love to get into Saberhagen too a little bit because he was and Tudor also, because Tudor is a similar pitcher in the sense like they didn't have like overwhelming stuff, but there was something in the way the ball finished or the way guys picked it up. Guys just could not hit those 2.
No,
could not hit them.
And I mean, we got into Saberhagen a little bit because Charlie was, I asked him, I was like, what is it like having a 20-year-old come up and just dominate like he did? And I mean, Cy Young stuff. It just, man, and that story where the catcher said it, like, he was the hardest guy he caught, and he caught Nolan Ryan. I mean,
Yeah.
have some late life on your fastball. That's insane, man.
Yeah. Also, that was said about a guy like Pedro. Like his 93 looked like 97 because it just like exploded late.
Yeah, sorry, Hal McRae, not
Oh,
Brian McRae. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, Brian McRae was about 2 probably.
Yeah, so he probably.
Yeah.
I mean, he was with the Royals later, but not for this one.
Yeah, Marty, we did talk about Andahar
Yeah.
going ballistic and stuff in Game
was
7, and
bad.
I just and
that team just
it was
they
wild.
just imploded on themselves.
Yeah. But man, what an incredible time. So again, thank you, Marshall. Thank you, Charlie. This one is, like I said, it might be number 1 at this point. I mean, that was absolutely incredible. It was really cool to get Charlie's perspective, and like, I apologize to Marshall, but I was like, hey, give me the Cardinal side. Like, what were they feeling?
Right.
But it really cool how he sets this book up and tells the history of the teams and like really works his way through the game. So check that out. Interstate 85. Give him a look. You can reach out to him. You can click that link. But absolutely incredible interview. And thank you guys in the chat for coming along that ride, because that one's going to be a tough one to top. That was pretty damn incredible.
It was awesome.
Man. Awesome. So like every time we have an interview, we do have more show, but I just got here. This topic stings. I get it,
yeah.
Ryan. I'm sorry.
Probably better that you sat the first hour plus out.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. All right, Harrison, let's dive into it. MLBPA responds to the owners. I just pulled a couple quotes out of this. It says, the last time the owners made such an explicit push for a cap over 30 years ago, it led to the longest work stoppage in MLB history. A cap will lead to more stoppages. This was their response to the owners, rebuttal from the first MLBPA initial thought process. This is their immediate response. Like, this comes out like almost the next morning.
It literally like they read it and immediately responded.
What were your overall thoughts here?
Do you hear that sound, Nick? That's a shovel with dirt as the players dig their grave with the public. If you saw the comments online to this letter, I mean, the players were getting roasted by the fans. Absolutely roasted. I would say probably 80% of all the comments I read on MLB from this letter on a variety of baseball pages were roasting the players, because it's the sense is they don't have a sense of reality anymore. They've lost their minds, and it's just about the money to them. So, I mean, I think they're wrong. Every league that's put this in place has had less work stoppages because it's all outlined. If the league splits the revenue, if the revenue comes in higher, the players get some back. The revenue comes in lower, the players take a little bit of a haircut. Guys still get paid. And when you do the math based on the floor they set and the cap they set, it's like plus 100 million in total salary spend. So the pool of money is actually bigger. So in the end, like the owners have checked all the boxes to say, hey, look, like we're not actually taking any money away from you guys. We're just spreading it out more evenly. We want to get more small market teams involved. We're going to split revenue with the teams a little better to help them do it. And oh, by the way, you're going to share in the revenue. So if we blow revenue projections out of the water and grow the game like you say you want to, well, you guys get to share in it too, because there's going to be a pool of money for you at the end of the rainbow. And the players came back with this. I don't. The players are going to lose public support so fast, and they already are starting to. That I don't know what happens. Bryce Harper came out today and had some comments about it, or maybe it was yesterday. I read some comments from him, and they kind of echoed this. It's the same talking points, but his whole thing is like, I don't want to miss games. I'm getting later in my career. I want to play. But we're not going to be the ones that change the history of this game. I think you are going to be the ones that change the history of this game, because you're effectively going to try to ruin it.
Yeah, for me, like a 50-50 split, like I said the other day, is more than gracious. The owners have more to pay in their organization than just the players. So to give them 50% of what they're making, they got to pay concessions. They got to pay stadium rental. If they're renting from the county, they have to pay. They have other bills they have to pay. So they're already willing to give up half of that to give to you directly as players. How much more do you want? Like, you're splitting 50% of your revenue between 26 guys, while I still have 1,500 employees I have to pay over here with the other 50%. How much more do you guys need?
Right.
I don't understand that. That's where the greed's coming from me. Like, you're taking away from the guy making minimum wage as a hot dog vendor. You're taking away so much away from people that need the money versus guys that need a fourth jet ski, right? Or a third Lamborghini. Like, cut it out. Like, I don't even care if you're making league minimum at 780. If you want to up it to $1 million, fine, right? Because like I said, 23,000 people have only made the MLB. I get it, right? So if 1 million is the minimum wage, if you will, right? Then fine. I would cave at $1 million. 1.5 is bonkers to me. But the owner's giving up 50% of their revenue to just 26 people blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Yeah. And not just giving it up, but like guaranteeing it. Like, we're going to give you 50% of the upside too. Like, if we do even better, we're going to share it back to you.
Right.
Like, we're now equal partners in this. And I think that's where MLB got it right. You guys want to have us sit at the table and grow this game, then we're going to be equal partners. We're going to do this together. Oh, you don't want that anymore. Well, and that's where I think the players want all the upside, none of the risk. They still have guaranteed contracts, all this stuff. They want all the upside, none of the risk. And the owners are like, guys, like, we're done taking all the risk. We're happy to share this with you, but we're not going to keep paying you more and more and more while we continue to sit here and have to figure it out. This is wild. And I think public perception is dramatically against the players right now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, John, 40-man roster, minor league players. Like, I get it, right? They'll get a certain percent. It's more than 26, but still, compared to the rest of the employees you have in your organization, the players are less than 1%, right? That was kind of my main point there. But Marty, I'm so done with the players, and you're not the only one. Like, they are losing us and losing us fast. And this statement, like I said, I only pulled a couple quotes out of there. You can find the whole statement on our page and out there in the internet world somewhere, but it's not good. Like, they are expected to hold out. And I don't have any words. There's nothing I can say to try to back the players. Like, I don't even know if I can put my mind in their shoes for a second. Like, the owners are more, like I said, I think they nailed their opening negotiation point.
Crushed it.
Listen, 171.4 was the floor. The floor. That number blew me out of the water. So you're already taking all the money that you're taking at the top and putting it at the bottom. Probably about $50 million more than I ever thought was going to be an opening point. Yes, they brought the cap down a little bit, but 284. I mean, that's still a decent amount of payroll. As we said, there's only 6 teams above that.
Yeah, there's going to be 8 teams had to shed payroll, 12 had to increase payroll. The net increase was like almost $100 million. So, by putting that in place today, there'd be $100 million more money going out to the players.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
okay, and that's assuming that the teams that are under the floor only go to the floor. Now, if they go higher, there's even more money on the table, because at the end of the day, this, as I said 2 years ago, they have to prove the pool of money is the same or bigger, and they did that. And I have been not a big advocate of Rob Manfred, but they absolutely nailed the launch of this. They won the PR game right out of the gate.
Easy. Like, we were stunned on Thursday when we talked about this. I was just like, I was not expecting that out of the owners. And I'm just like, if I'm the players, I sign it now. Done. Negotiations over.
Yeah, this is that, like, make me an offer I can't refuse. And then they did. They're like, oh, wait, we still have to refuse that because this is not how this is supposed to go. I mean, that I'm with you. the players should be like, okay, we can work from this. Like, this is actually going to give us more money and a seat at the table. To come back with these responses is absolutely tone deaf. It's tone deaf to the game, tone deaf to the fans, and I wouldn't be shocked by the end of the year if you don't have fans booing some of these guys. If it continues to go this way with this tone, because I think the fans see the MLB offer for what it was, which was a very strong starting point. I think they see the players' offer as a joke, and I think they're going to see this response as a joke.
1,000%. And Greg says it. I'm just stunned the players messed up the PR this hard, especially with the takes I was seeing online a year ago, which was everyone was on the player side. 1,000%. And like we were too, to an extent. We're like, listen, we gotta somehow make these owners at the bottom spend, right? Like they can't just keep pocketing the revenue share money, right? They came out and blew our expectations out of the water, and the owners are on board and just being like, yeah, you know what? You're right. 171.4. Mind blown. Never expected that number to be the floor. And
yep.
So that is literally calling the players bluff right there. I mean, I don't know how much more you want other than the players being like, you know what this is going to do? This is going to take my free agency, and this is going to put me in Miami. This is going to put me in Washington. This is going to put me in Colorado. I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of it.
Maybe.
I don't know, but like you just said, tone deaf is the greatest words for this, because they have lost. I would say people that are really paying attention to this, they are siding with the owners, which I never would have expected this early in the negotiations. Owners crushed it, man. Probably the biggest home run of the year so far.
When was the last lockout or strike in the NFL?
Yep.
When was the last lockout or strike in the NHL? It was when they put the cap in place, like a decade ago. The NFL collective bargaining agreement, they literally get together in a room. They go, same thing, same escalators. Yep, cool. Let's sign it. Let's go grab drinks. We're done. Like, their process is so much easier. Every time the CBA in baseball comes up, we all sit there with our fingers crossed. So this isn't the one that takes the game down. Every other league, they're like, same as last time. Yep. Plus 5% because it's gone up. Cool. We're done. See ya.
And the fact that the owners didn't take away guaranteed contracts, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Because now you say all this, now you're giving the owners a chance to come back and be like, you know what? Now we're taking guaranteed contracts off the table. Right? Yeah. Imagine that. They still have room to do that. They still have time to do that. If you guys are going to be like that, then we're putting in guaranteed contracts no longer. Sorry. You get hurt, you're not getting paid. Stop throwing max effort. We're not paying for your Tommy Johns anymore. Figure it out. Or we'll find somebody that can stay on the field. There's enough talent out there. I'll just get the next guy from the minors.
Think of all the payroll dollars teams have wasted because guys are on the IL for long stints. Just think about it for a minute. How much money has every team burned paying a guy who's not there hurt for long stretches of time, and then they have to pay some other guy to take his place? It's a lot of money these owners burn covering injuries. Yeah.
John says, give me 5 minutes with both sides and I'll tell them greedy bastards how it is for us fans. Curtis says, the owners have won round one of this bout. The court of public opinion, bad PR is PR. I mean, you're not wrong there, right? I get it. But I agree. I think the owners still have time to mess this up, right? MLB
for sure.
There's still plenty of time for something to come back and mess up. But at this moment, MLB is leaps and bounds ahead of where I thought they were even going to come in at. So I can't believe that the players are kind of acting like this. Like they're acting like spoiled babies right now to release a statement this fast after the owners dropped their initial negotiation points. Wild.
Yeah, Marty, the Astros have over $100 million in contracts on the IL. I mean, and those guys are all getting paid their salary to sit at home and rehab.
Crazy.
So anyways, I think the players are proving that they're tone deaf. I don't think they care about the fans. I think Bryce Harper did nothing to help their cause today. He actually held the Dodgers up on a pedestal that they're the example that every team should follow. Draft well, develop well, spend a lot. And you win. They're the model franchise, and everybody should be like them. And they went on to say, not everybody has the revenue, but everybody should act like them. It's like, okay, dude, like clearly you missed your accounting class in the community college you went to, because dude, you should know.
Harrison, he didn't go to class, dude. Come on now.
I know he studied baseball, but still, like, and I know people say the owner should open the books. The Players Association knows enough about how teams are performing. They know where the books are. Like they don't hide this information. I mean, hell, Forbes gets it every year by calling them. And the league helps produce this information. Like the information's available. Players have a sense of what their teams do. I mean, hell, the Atlanta Braves publish financial statements because they're publicly traded. You can see the fact that baseball makes zero money for them.
Right.
If not for the development around the ballpark, they would make nothing. So like it's not a surprise. Baseball is not a very profitable business.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, as my mom used to say to me, boy, you're getting too big for your britches. And I got put back in my place. And that's what I feel like this next response from the MLBPA. Imagine they just like, fine, you guys are going to play this hard, then we're going all in. Guaranteed contracts gone. Deferred contracts gone. I mean, they still have leverage to take away if they're not even going to be willing to negotiate. It's just crazy. I don't know where it goes from this point. What do the players even come back with?
Nothing. This is what they're just going to say. We don't like that. The problem with the players is they don't have a better idea. They just don't like theirs. So I think this is going to be where it stops. Now, apparently they're supposed to get back together in a few weeks and share other proposals, but I would be surprised if the players come back with anything new. They're just going to point at this one and say, we don't like it. And that's about as far as it's going to go. And I said in the last show, I think the players are highly overvaluing what they mean to the game. Fans root for the name on the front. The name on the back is replaceable.
Yep.
Guys get traded, guys retire, guys get hurt and they're gone all year. Fans don't stop showing up. The Yankees didn't lose fans when Derek Jeter retired. They kept coming out because they're Yankees fans.
Right. And the next guy up was Aaron Judge. And look,
the Yankees were there before Derek Jeter got there. The Yankees are going to be there after Derek Jeter leaves. That's the case with all these guys. They are all replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
They're insanely talented. I would love to watch them all play. But if I'm MLB, I'd tell the guys, okay, go find a better offer then.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are all replaceable. Once the CBA expires, MLB can do whatever the hell they want.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Enjoy this year, fellas. Ride it till all the wheels fall off, and we are for sure.
Yeah. Once the CBA expires, there's no link to the union. Baseball can tell them all to just go kick rocks. Go play in Japan then. See ya.
Yep.
We'll start over.
Yeah. Crazy.
Could you imagine if the owners are like, we're done. We're just going to bring other guys in.
Yeah, we'll just bring AAA up to the major leagues. We'll be fine.
Yeah, people still come out. It might take some time to get the game back, but and then that's when you have guys that go, oh crap, and they'll cross over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, crazy. I'm a Braves fan. Did I love Freddie? Yes, but he's a Dodger. I'm not a Dodgers fan. Right, and you don't follow Freddie as much. Like, yes, you still check in on him, but you're not a Freddie Freeman fan. You're a Braves fan. Right. And that's our point for sure.
My favorite player of all time is Nomar Garciaparra. What happened to him in the 2004 season? He got traded. Was I heartbroken? Yes. Did I still watch the hell out of the second half of that season in the playoffs and run around campus like an idiot when they won the World Series? Absolutely, I did.
Yep. We all did.
Because I didn't care that Nomar wasn't there. I cared that they won.
Yeah. Yeah, Curtis, yeah, they need each other. They'll kiss eventually. I mean, you're not wrong. No. It's just going to be ugly to watch, right?
It's going to be awkward as hell.
Yeah,
I think the players are going to realize they can't hold out as long as they think they can, and they really need to come back.
Yep.
And if I'm the owners, I might let it ride and see how long they can last.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Abner Uribe, mandatory game off to try out for the WWE after repeating X-Pac's move. Thoughts on this one, Harrison?
I loved Murphy's comment. Like, it was embarrassing. And obviously he talked to the kid and was like, dude, we don't do that here. Um, I have no words for this. It's like, the hell were you thinking? And I would have loved if that call had been challenged and it ended up being a ball and he had to go back out there and finish the inning. Like, this was such a brain fart in an important moment that I just can't. And Pat Murphy nailed it. Like, it was embarrassing. We talked to him. It won't happen again, because you could tell he was already over it. Like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my God, man. He is going to appeal this decision, but yeah, Uribe's an idiot. Enjoy the moment and celebrate, but don't go crazy.
Jesus.
I mean, this was pretty wild. Pretty much just telling the dugout to suck it is nuts.
Well, and if I'm one of his teammates, like, I don't know, pick a guy. If I'm one of his teammates, I'm grabbing him in the dugout going, dude, you're going to get one of us friggin' hit.
Yeah.
And when we do get hit, I'm coming for your ass, because like, that was stupid. And
Yeah.
like, I remember seeing games like this in the past where guys have some crazy reaction. First batter up would get friggin' plunked, and you'd see his eyes go right into his own dugout to be like, dude, that's on you. Like,
Yep.
I wore that because of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, imagine just an all-out Brewers brawl and the Cardinals are just sitting there like, what? Wait, what's happening?
I mean, there's been so many teams that have had clubhouse problems because like stupid stuff like this got guys hit.
Yeah.
The hitters were pissed at the pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
Just stupid.
Just be smarter than that. Come on now. Abner has two words for you.
Yeah.
Suck it.
I do appreciate the Degeneration X reference, because that takes me back about 25 years. But I saw this clip and I'm like, what the hell is he thinking? And Pat Murphy handled it beautifully, as I expected he would.
Yeah.
You know, his comments were just, it's embarrassing. We talked to him. We've dealt with it. It won't happen again. And you could tell he was already over it.
Yeah. Just dumb.
Craziest thing.
Yep. All right, Murakami makes the show again, but unfortunately, he's hitting the IL with a right hamstring strain. So his quest for 60, I'm gonna say it's no longer. He'll miss a couple weeks. Don't look now. Season ended today, Harrison. Guess who's in the playoffs?
I know.
It's the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, and
what?
And, yeah, I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, we said they weren't going to be a complete doormat anymore. The pitching was still a huge question mark. But the pitching's been good enough. And the offense has been very good. They hit a ton of home runs. This guy's obviously a reason for that, but up and down that lineup, like they have guys that down in the bottom part of that lineup that will take you yard if you throw them a meatball. There's not a lot of breaks in that lineup.
The hammy was the cause of the two other doubles.
That's the thing. I mean, the dude hasn't had to run like all year. You know, it's a single or a home run.
Yeah. Yeah, Curtis, you called it. Typed wild card White Sox last episode, and man, I mean, it's always nice to see these teams come out of the basement and be relevant again. So, yeah,
and they've been on a heater too. They've won 5 in a row. You know, playing really well. I mean, granted, they've been beaten up on Minnesota, so I mean, I think all 5 of those wins have come against Minnesota. Poor Minnesota, but
yeah,
it's nice to see them not suck.
Yep. Yeah, the Mariners first place above 500. No Cal. What's going on? They just swept the Diamondbacks this weekend. Diamondbacks kind of hitting a skid right now. Seattle's turning it around, some big hits. Julio Rodriguez has had an insane month. What is it?
Finally.
10 homers? 11 homers?
Yeah, finally, because they've badly needed him to wake up.
Yeah. So, man, crazy. All right, 4 walk-off homers Friday night. Brian Reynolds, MJ Melendez, Vargas, and Ezekiel Tovar. Not the record in a single day, though. The record is 5, which is crazy. 5 walk-off homers in one day, but pretty dang cool to have 4 walk-off homers on a single night. But yeah, it's always cool to see one, but to have 4 is pretty wild. And out of guys, you don't really, I mean, Vargas has been hitting some bombs lately, but I mean, Reynolds, Melendez, Tovar, they're not exactly your big thumpers.
I kind of forgot Brian Reynolds was still in Pittsburgh, to be honest.
Yeah.
That dude signed the contract and then disappeared.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, and the Royals offense is still miserable. They need everything they can get. That team is an utter disaster at the plate.
Yeah. Tough to watch.
It's really hard to watch. Like I can't do it. I can't watch them anymore. Like I hurt. They don't do anything well.
Nope. So yeah, Mariners had a walk-off single Friday night as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a few walk-offs Friday night. But all right. We got some out of left field discussion topics, Harrison.
I got one that I wanted to put in here just based on, I knew we wouldn't have a lot of time, but I wanted to put this one in here based on the conversation or based on the letter from MLBPA. So
all right,
let's get into it. So Nick and chat, if MLB is locked out in 2027, would you rather watch replacement players, banana ball, or basically F baseball? I'll watch anything else.
Is Keanu Reeves playing? Because then that way I'll
replacements. Yeah, different replacements.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a hard one because I think I'll check in on Banana Ball. I don't know if I'll watch it, if that makes sense. Yeah. I did watch one the other day because David Griffin was pitching for the Clowns up in Washington. But I'll check in on it. I don't know if I'll be watching it. I think replacement players, if that's available, or KBO like we had during the COVID season, right? So,
yeah,
was it the COVID season or was it during the lockout?
It was the lockout.
Yeah, they were playing KBO, so probably that. But yeah, I'll probably find something else to do. Let's be honest.
Fair. I mean, I think honestly, like when I don't think I could watch Banana Ball like on a constant basis. I think I'll check in and catch a game from time to time, like I kind of do now. I will for sure watch replacement players. Like I don't care who's like. I'll be curious to see who's out there. You know, who might be any good. You know, you're gonna find some guys that were like long-term minor leaguers that get a shot. Like there could be some really cool stories and games that come out of it. Definitely watching the minor leagues, but I would watch replacement players. I would not give up on baseball. And honestly, there's part of me that's kind of excited to see replacement players because I'm tired of the way baseball's played right now. Like I'd like to see a game where we go back to pitch to contact, hit the ball, run the bases, score runs, not just the drop and drive, hit home runs only situation. So in my mind, replacement players might be a bit of a breath of fresh air to see actual baseball played again.
Yeah. And honestly, that was one of my biggest things about going back and watching that 85 World Series was just like, man, like this was baseball. You had your cleanup hitters bunting for a hit. You had hit and run. You had bunt and run. You had, I mean, great defense. Like it was just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, not a bazillion strikeouts, not guys watching every freaking pitch. Like if it was a strike, they swung. Like there was not a lot of standing around looking for a walk like there is now.
No. Yeah.
Oh, Curtis.
Curtis is 3 or 4. Find me a PS2 and play some MVP Baseball 2005 with updated roster I created. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in. We should just start a season and all play it together.
Yep. Ed, we're with you. Banana Ball is kind of Globetrotter-esque, nice occasional fun, but not every day. And that's what I mean. Like I'll go in and check on it, but I don't know if I could watch it every day.
Yeah, I'm going to a game in a few weeks. I'm really excited to go to it, but like I can't imagine doing it more than once or twice a summer. And like watching it, I've probably watched a handful of Banana Ball games so far. Like it's fun to check in on, but again, like I don't know that I could watch it every single day.
Yeah.
Like I can watch baseball every single day.
But
I can't do Banana Ball every single day.
Yeah. With you 1,000%.
But what is the overall feeling on replacement players? Because I know in 94. I know the whole replacement player thing has always had a really like bad stigma to it, and I feel like it was never really given a fair shot. I mean, there's actually some good players that came out of the replacement group. Kevin Millar was one of them. I think that there's a stigma to replacement players that probably isn't fair. because these are not like scrubs off the couch. Just, we're not going to get a call, me and Nick, to go play. These are legitimate ball players that just are in the minor league system somewhere, might be free agents or
just not in the
non-union members. Right.
Yeah. Was it Millar, Barry Bonds? They weren't union members. That's why you never saw them in the video games, because they were non-union members.
Yep.
There's tons of guys like that.
Kevin Millar played as a replacement player.
Right.
And got crap for it for his whole career.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. Damian Miller, really good replacement player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. He was another one of the guys.
Yeah.
There's several of them that were replacement players that ended up having MLB careers afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any stigma towards them. Like, do you want to go play ball at the highest level, man? Go play ball at the highest level in the best ballparks in the world. Like, why not?
Yeah. And I'm not saying if they called, I wouldn't answer. Like, I would totally answer the call. I'm just saying they're not calling me.
Daubach was one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
John
came up with the rest MVP baseball god. Yeah. Trevor Bauer return in 2027.
He might win a Cy Young next year.
Yep.
As a replacement player.
Yeah. I would probably put them in the order you have them, Harrison. Replacement players, banana ball, anything else. So yeah, I'm with you. So yeah.
John's already got it planned out. We're just on the email to San Diego studios to bring back connected seasons and have a league for the podcast.
Yeah, that would be sick. You'd mop the floor with me, but I'd still have fun. It'd be awesome.
Yep.
All right. Would ticket prices be reduced? Don't count on it, Marty.
Well, I believe when they did replacement players the last time, they charged far less just to get bodies in. But it was also a different situation because it was a strike. It wasn't a lockout. So,
yeah. All right.
Anyways,
what do you got?
All right. So I get this. I get the segment. I'm calling it "Give Me a High Five." I've got a list of some top fives. Now, I found several websites that do like rankings and scoring and all that. So I'm not going to give up my sources, but I do have a few websites that I'm using to rank these. These are not like who had the most home runs. These are going to be like who was rated the best first baseman. So it's a little bit more opinion based. Love to see what people throw out there for answers. Some of these I found surprising. Some of these I think are pretty obvious. But we'll see how we do. So these are from other websites who have done polls and ranking and scoring to create these lists.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So let's go. Who's missing from this list of the top 5 catches of all time as voted on by fans? Johnny Bench, number 1. Gary Carter, number 2. This guy, number 3. Carlton Fisk, number 4. And Ivan Rodriguez, number 5. Who did fans vote as number 3? And I preface this with these are recent polls. So these are recently done.
Yeah. So my mind goes to Yogi Berra, 10 rings, and Mike Piazza are kind of my two that kind of stick out here.
Neither of them.
Neither of them
broke the top 5. Campanella was not number 3.
Oh my goodness.
You're gonna like the answer to this one, Nick, but I think you're gonna be surprised by it.
I'm gonna like the answer to it, but I'm gonna be surprised by it.
Yep.
So Jason Varitek?
No, not Varitek.
Okay, well then I'm not gonna like it.
Some dumbass would say Yachty, Carl. Not Yachty. I mean, I love Yachty, but I would not put Yachty in the top 5.
Is it Mauer?
No, another good one, but not Mauer.
Thurman Munson?
Not Munson. Got to go back a little further.
Campanella is in there.
Not Campanella.
Is it Josh Gibson?
It is.
It's Josh Gibson.
I told you you're going to like the answer.
Yeah. All right.
Josh Gibson was rated 3rd overall.
Okay. I can get behind that.
Yep.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah, I like this one because I was totally shocked that he made the list.
Yeah.
But again, this is recent polling. They did the Negro League stats. Like there's been a little bit more attention paid to it. So, and I will say that, with this being more recent polling, there's definitely a lot of historical names that come into this that more so than some of the recent names I would have expected to see. So I'm not sure if they slanted to an older crowd or if it's just a bigger sample set and you're getting a better view of baseball fans versus people that just have been interested for a little while.
Yeah, gotcha. I mean, all great names in the chat here. Buster, Posada, Piazza, Yachty. I mean, yeah. But wow, yeah, Josh Gibson. All right. I can get behind it.
Yep. All right. Who is missing from this list of the top 5 first basemen of all time is voted by fans? Number 1, Albert Pujols. Number 2, Lou Gehrig. Number 3, Jimmy Fox. Number 4, Johnny Mize. And number 5 is this guy. Who is voted number 5?
Eddie Murray.
No.
Frank Thomas.
Not Frank.
Goodness. Fred McGriff.
Not Freddie.
Stan Musial.
Not Stan the Man. This one's actually a little more recent.
A little more recent. Mark McGwire.
Not McGuire.
Stargell, we got Cap Anson.
This guy is still technically active, but not really.
I mean, you got Cabrera in the chat. Mattingly's a great guess. Still active, but not really.
This guy's still on a roster, and he plays a little bit.
I'm probably going to have an issue with this one then. Because there's nobody in the league right now that plays first base that would be top 5 first baseman of all time. I don't have a guess. I mean, Joey Votto, Jim Thome, Freddie Freeman would be the only one that I would say deserves.
No, this guy's got better numbers than Freddie, but he's also older than Freddie. He won an MVP a few years ago.
Oh, no. It's not Paul Goldschmidt.
It is Paul Goldschmidt.
Get out of here with that one.
I'm just when you lay his stat. I said the same thing, that I laid his stats out next to all these guys, and I went, okay, like better than I give him credit for being.
He's good. He's not top 5. That's crazy.
I mean, I'm not saying
that's crazy.
I'm not saying I this isn't my poll, so I'm not saying I agree or disagree.
I would have immediately left that page that you were wrong.
When you lay the stats out, he's got a really compelling case, because you also had to factor in the defense too.
I get it. He's a nice player. Probably better than nice. There's no way he is top 5. He's probably barely top 10, if not even top 10 for me. First baseman of all time. I mean, MVP, 7-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove, 5-time Silver Slugger. I get it. 378 homers, 288 average. I mean, yeah, 2,200 hits.
I said the same thing. I went, there's no way on earth he belongs on this list. And then I looked at his stats compared to the guys around him, and I'm like, okay, like a tip of the cap to Goldie. It's a better career than I gave him credit for.
It's a great career. Don't get me wrong. It's not top 5. It's not even top 10. I'm sorry. Great numbers. No. Mm-mm. I get it, but no.
I mean, I'm not saying that I necessarily agree or disagree, but when I saw it, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, I can see the argument.
Okay. Anyways, we're gonna move on from that one.
Moving on. All right. So, who is missing from this list of the top 5 second basemen of all time as voted by fans? We got Joe Morgan at number 1, Rogers Hornsby number 2, Eddie Collins number 3, this guy number 4, and Rod Carew number 5. Who was voted number 4?
Well, if we're going by the poll from the last question, I'm going to put Jose Offerman here.
Stop. Goldie was way better than that.
All right. For real, number 4.
I feel like this one is kind of obvious.
I mean, you got Biggio. You got.
You don't even like Biggio. You think the
don't,
overstayed is welcome.
I don't. That was Sean's argument.
I mean,
that was Sean's argument. Who am I missing? That's blatantly obvious here. Roberto Alomar.
Not Robbie. He was just behind this group.
Who am I missing? That's blatantly obvious.
The answer's in chat.
I missed here. Yeah, Sandberg. Oh, Robinson. Duh.
Yeah. Curtis got it. Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, that. Duh.
Jackie's number 4.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to argue that one.
Nope. Don't hate that one.
All right. Who is missing from this list of the top 5 third basemen of all time as voted by fans? Mike Schmidt, number 1, the biggest no-brainer on any list. This guy, number 2. George Brett, number 3. Eddie Matthews, number 4. Adrian Beltre, number 5. Who was voted number 2?
Brooks Robinson, right?
Not Brooks.
Stop it.
Brooks was 6.
Stop it.
Not
Alex,
Chipper. He was right behind him.
Alex Rodriguez.
No, not A-Rod.
Cal Ripken.
No, considered a shortstop.
Oh, it's got to be Boggs then, right? We went through everybody else.
100% Wade Boggs.
Yeah.
Again, that one makes sense.
It does, but not having Brooks Robinson in the top 5 is also a cardinal sin for me. I mean, I take out.
That's the thing. Who do you take out? The thing I love about these top 5 lists is they're damn near impossible to put together because there's probably 10 guys that belong in 5 spots, and it's hard to pick a guy you'd take out. Like, who do you take out?
It's one of the bottom 2 for me. I think it's Schmidt, Robinson, Brett, Boggs, top 4, and then you can put in number 5 whoever you want.
Yeah. That's what I love. I love these lists because people get all fired up because there's probably 10 names that belong, maybe even 12 names that belong in those 5 spots.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the guy they want to see there.
Yeah.
But
should be. I'm with most. I mean, yes, they hit a lot better than Brooks, but 16 Gold Gloves at third base is pretty ridiculous. But I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, totally. It makes sense, but I love these lists because people get so friggin' fired up by them. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Who is missing from this list of the top 5? Hang on.
What do you think?
Hang on. Oh, I thought I had a typo. No, I'm good. Sorry. I was reading like that isn't right.
Oh, it's okay if you have a typo, and we're just gonna skip it if you have a typo. But we'll just rank over the code.
I thought I was reading it wrong. I'm good. All right. So
okay.
Who's missing from this list of the top 5 shortstops of all time as voted by fans? You had Cal Ripken number 1, Honus Wagner number 2, this guy number 3, Ernie Banks number 4, Alex Rodriguez number 5. Who was number 3?
There's Jeter's in the chat. Noted defensive liability, Derek Jeter.
Yeah. Then what's interesting is Jeter gets a lot of crap from non-Yankees fans for that.
I mean, I got Ozzie. You got.
I think Jeter's on this list in Yankee land, but outside of Yankee land, he's not on this list. Like, he's not on my top 5 list, probably.
Is it?
I love this pick. I love who they put here.
Well, if it's not Jeter or Ozzie.
It's not Jeter or Ozzie.
Is it Larkin?
Not Larkin.
Not Larkin. Is it? Man. Just haters.
Just haters.
Um,
Carl, you're totally right. A-Rod was the way better shortstop, and he basically took a demotion to go win.
Yeah. Man, another top of the line shortstop. Not Ozzie, not Jeter, not Larkin.
This guy comes up on the show relatively frequently.
Scott says Yount.
It is absolutely Robin Yount.
Is it really? All right.
Like I said, I love who they put here because Yount was such a rock solid guy.
Yeah. Vizquel's another great one.
Yeah, he is. Everybody you guys named is in the top 10 of this list.
Yeah.
So it again, like I love the top 5 because people get so wound with the names that are in it, but you can't fit them all in the top 5.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think I would have put Vizquel defensively up there, and with the amount of hits he has. But I mean, Robin Yount's a Hall of Famer. Kind of.
I always loved Vizquel. I loved watching that guy play.
Yeah, 1000%.
All right. Who is missing from this list of the top 5 left fielders of all time as voted by fans? Ted Williams, number 1. This guy was number 2. Ricky Henderson, number 3. Barry Bonds, number 4. Carl Yastrzemski, number 5. Who was voted number 2?
This isn't a trick question, is it? It is who I think it is.
I don't know who you think it is.
It's Stan Musial. Has to be.
Yes,
okay.
It has to be.
Thank you.
I felt like left field, like all 5 are obvious no-brainers. It's like, which one do I pick? Because they're all no-brainers.
Yeah, I was going to say this one. Yeah, I think I would have had an issue if he wasn't here.
Agreed. I would have absolutely like deleted whatever source I was using and just said I'm all done.
Yeah. Stan Musial's the only correct answer there for sure.
This one's gonna piss people off.
Oh, great.
I love this. This is going to be fun. So, who is missing from this list of the top 5 center fielders of all time as voted by fans? Willie Mays, number 1. Mickey Mantle, number 2. Ty Cobb, number 3. This guy, number 4. Tris Speaker, number 5. Who was voted number 4?
Well, if it's going to make people upset, I can rule out DiMaggio. I can rule out Ken Griffey Jr. It's not them.
Correct. It is not them.
Yeah, if it's gonna make them mad,
it's gonna piss people off. This one, honestly, like this is the one that made me put this whole thing in the show.
Andrew Jones,
not Andrew Jones.
Yeah, Jim Edmonds.
No, not Jim Edmonds. I do love Jim Edmonds.
Duke Snyder,
not Snyder.
Jackie Bradley Jr. Let's go way off.
Yes, you nailed it.
No.
No, I'm kidding. Jeez.
Okay. Listen, with the Paul Goldschmidt answer, it could have been right.
I don't know, man. Goldschmidt's not a bad answer. I hated it at first.
Oh, Mike Trout's actually.
It is Mike Trout.
Wow.
Now I feel like will he eventually be there? Yes. I feel like this one might be a little premature. But I think because of Trout's status, he gets this credit a little bit sooner than he probably should.
Yeah, it's recency bias for sure, but yeah. I mean, at the end of his career, we're going to be talking about him as one of the best of all time, and which is crazy because he's also a what if player. Like, yeah, that's the whole thing with him. Is like his whole career is just
If not for the injuries, he would have been potentially the top of this list. One of the greatest players of all time.
Could have been. 1,000% agree.
So I feel like this is one that I think people are giving him the credit a little early.
Yeah.
But I get it.
I can make an argument for this. I can still not make an argument for Paul Goldschmidt. That's just me. But it is what it is. Trout over DiMaggio is gross. He's great. Don't get me wrong, but Joe DiMaggio was insane. And we're with you, Carl. I mean, I get sympathy vote because he's an angel. Not wrong. And there's no way Junior's not a top 5 all-time center fielder.
I feel like Junior should have been in this top 5, and Trout should be in there later. I feel like they're a little early to put him there.
Yeah, and even then, like, I mean,
but it's like hard. It's again like, who do you take out?
I think you take Speaker out. I do. Griffey, and that's again, I think it's part recency bias. I get Tris Speaker's numbers, but he also played back in the 1900s.
Yeah.
So like I get it, but whatever.
It's so hard to do these lists when you've got, the original era of baseball guys in there with a bajillion hits and 7,000 triples, and it's just the game was just so different.
Right. Yeah, and that's what's hard. Like you almost have to do these with like who's top 5 last 25 years,
right?
Or something like that.
You have to like break it, and like the top 5 from like 1960 on is one category, and like 60 and before is another, because it's so hard to do that with the game being as different as it is.
Yeah, and I mean, just think about it again, bringing up the '85 World Series, just in 40 years, how much that has completely changed. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
Yeah, agreed. All right, who is missing from this list of the top 5 right fielders of all time as voted by fans? Babe Ruth number 1, Hank Aaron number 2, this guy number 3, Frank Robinson number 4, and Roberto Clemente number 5. Who was voted number 3?
Well, at least my boy made the list.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Vlad Sr.
No, but that would be epic.
Al Kaline.
Not Kaline.
We got Ichiro. We got Parker. Yeah,
not
Vlad
Ichiro, not Parker, not Vlad. Again, fan voting.
I don't know. Mel Ott.
Not Ott.
Top 5.
This guy is still active.
Chad, is it Judge already?
No, but it's going to be pretty quick. He's closing in on all these guys.
Tony Gwynn. No, he's not active, but right fielder, still active.
He isn't currently playing right field. He's taking a minor detour.
Okay. Enough with these then, because this is crazy. Come on now.
It's our former boy.
It is. It's Mookie Betts. And listen, really, really great defensively.
Fantastic. All the hardware you can imagine.
No, we're not top 5. I'm sorry. You
look at his career stat line. It's pretty disgusting what this guy's accomplished. But I feel like he's like Trout. I think that he probably ends up there, but it might be a little bit early to put him there.
Yeah, I think with these, I think it's hard to put current guys on a top 5 list. I think that's where I'm at. Is like I gotta let their careers kind of settle a little bit, and to see like the full picture. And I think with him being able to play multiple position kind of hurts him. I don't think I can put him exclusively as a right fielder. Listen, damn good player out there.
One of the best.
He's not top 5. This is crazy. I'm a huge Mookie fan. Not yet. Maybe someday. But I just, not having Ichiro there, Vlad Guerrero, Dave Parker. I mean, you guys all crushed it in the chat. I'm with you with those guys before I put Mookie in. And
I think Mookie ends up going back to the outfield here, probably in the not too distant future. Finish his career there, and probably is a top 5 right fielder of all time. He's just not there today. His stat line is absurd. Just go. Don't do it now, but go back and look at it. I mean, what this guy's accomplished in the time he's been playing is absurd.
Oh, I know it is. I know what type of player Mookie Betts is. I don't know. I have a hard time, I think, putting, like I said, really current guys out there. Like
it's too soon.
Even the Mike Trout thing, right? Is he? Probably. should be, potentially could be. Not yet, right? Because we can see the full picture of people's career. And right now, they still have more to add to it. So, like, I get it. I get the stat lines are insane, but I can't put him in top 5 yet.
Yeah.
Love the dude. I can't do it.
This is actually a great point, Michael. This putting Mookie in this list is weird. Like when Griffey was on the all-century team at the 99 All-Star game. Like it's weird. Like probably belongs on it, but like way too soon to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I remember that. That Griffey one was awkward. It's like the dude, you've been here like a minute and you're
right.
And you're on the all-century team.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. So,
that was a weird one. That one I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right. Who is missing from this list of the top 5 starting pitchers of all time as voted by fans? This guy, number 1. Greg Maddux, number 2. Randy Johnson, number 3. Tom Seaver, number 4. Lefty Grove, number 5. Who is number 1?
I got 2 names in my head. And with Lefty Grove on there, Carl, I'm thinking that same time period, but I'm going to go Big Train. Cy Young. I had Nolan Ryan in my head, but I think I'm going Walter Johnson here. I swear to God, if it's Ohtani.
Dude, I should have just rigged this and made it Ohtani to watch heads explode.
Sandy Koufax is a great one, but I'm going Big Train with the chat here.
Yep, it is. It's Walter
okay.
Johnson.
All right. It redeemed you a little bit there, Harrison.
Honestly, like I knew there was going to be 2 that got people. I didn't think first base would get people as fired up. I knew that the outfield ones would piss people off. I can't wait to put these on Facebook as reels. You're welcome, Nick.
Yeah, because I have to answer.
You might want to sit those ones out.
Oh, God, man.
Well, you want engagement. Here we go. So, all right. Last one. Who is missing from this list of the top 5 designated hitters of all time as voted by fans? Frank Thomas, number 1. This guy, number 2. Edgar Martinez, number 3. Shohei Ohtani, number 4. Brian Downing, number 5. Who is number 2?
This has to be David Ortiz.
It's not.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Actually, I don't. And I honestly, like, when you see who it is, I think you're going to appreciate who it is.
It's Harold Baines. Let's be
honest.
No,
God, it's not Harold Baines. I don't hate this pick. I'll be honest. I mean, I would have liked Poppy because
did they put Jim Thome as a DH?
No. Jim Thome was considered a first baseman. not Baines.
Is it Ohtani again? Just because No,
not Ohtani.
Schwarber. Curtis is Molitor.
Paul Molitor. I don't hate that pick.
No. He's a very underrated Hall of Famer. I say it all the time.
Super underrated.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like I don't hate this pick. Like I would have loved for it to be Ortiz because I'm a Red Sox fan, but like I can tip my cap to Paul Molitor.
I get it. I mean, I get it. And he doesn't get the fanfare he should. This dude was an absolute savage at the plate. Bizarre. Carl Downing over Poppy. Jesus. Yeah.
That one I'm like, I'm not even sure who picked that. Like we'll just consider that to be David Ortiz.
Yeah. But okay. I mean, I can at least stand behind Paul Molitor a little bit.
Yeah, like I can get behind Paul Molitor.
Yeah.
And Brian Downing was no slouch. This dude could hit.
Yeah.
But I get it. He's not Poppy. Poppy was a different dude.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, I mean, we're coming up on the 2-hour, 30-minute mark, Harrison. Do you have anything else real quick to kind of add here before the end?
No, we've been going at it a little while.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I still can't wrap my mind around what happened the first hour and 15 minutes. That was absolutely incredible to listen to Charlie, to listen to Marshall, get the chance to sit down and talk to all those guys. And and really get the story of the 85 World Series. So please grab his book, Interstate 85. You can find the link in our comment section. You can direct message him. I already did. I'm going to get a signed copy. You can PayPal him, Venmo, whatever you want. And he can, he'll send you out a book signed. I can't wait to get it and read it. Like I said, I watched the whole series yesterday, all 7 games. Was able to fast forward through the commercials. Game was like an hour and a half each one. It was awesome. So it was really cool to sit there and break it down with both of them. This one was for the books, one of the best interviews we've had, and it was really cool to have like 2 people talking about it from 2 different perspectives. That was unreal. So
it was cool. Very cool to get that perspective.
Yeah. So I got nothing else. Harrison, you got nothing else. I guess this is it until Thursday. We'll see what happens in the baseball world in the next few days. But we do have another guest, hopefully coming on next Sunday, Matt Gamble. I'm going to reach out to him again to make sure he can come on. Another former Brewer, pretty cool. But Thursday should be just kind of like a regular show. And we can just chit chat about baseball and what's going on. Maybe we'll recap some current standings and some surprises, stuff like that. So, and who knows what happens? Maybe Abner Uribe tells somebody to suck it again. We'll see. But, or, maybe there's another illegal betting ring somewhere, or,
there is.
Yeah. Heaven forbid something else breaks here. So anyways, have a good week, fellas. Thank you for everything you guys do in the chat for us, coming back episode after episode and talking baseball. Absolutely incredible. Love you guys. Have a good week. We will see you Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
See ya.